Hey Metal Gear fans, welcome to my comprehensive guide covering all of the collectibles and miscellaneous trophies and achievements for Metal Gear Solid 3 as a part of the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1. Many of these trophies are highly missable, so please follow along closely as I show you everything you need to do to obtain all of the trophies and achievements and basically get everything except for the Foxhound rank in this one video. I hope you enjoyed this video and find it helpful. If you do, please consider hitting that like button, sharing this video with a friend, and also subscribe for more in the future. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start a new game, and I'm going to choose the I like MGS3 option because that gives us some certain advantages going forward. We're also going to play on the very easy difficulty just to make this as simple as possible.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two. East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
For the most part, I'm going to be skipping through all of the cutscenes and the radio calls. However, there are a few that we need to watch, and I will point those out because there are some certain hidden cutscenes that you need to hold down the first-person view button on to unlock the Snake Eyes trophy or achievement. So I will call those out as we go along. Other than that, we're just going to skip through things. You can hit the crouch button to skip through cutscenes quickly, and you can hold down the action button to skip through the radio messages. So starting off in Dramuji South, we're going to start by heading forward and we're going to crawl under this log. We have to first collect our equipment from the tree, so let's run over to this climbable tree and then hit the action button to climb up to the branch, and then we're going to walk across the branch very slowly till we get to our bag. Then we'll press the action button again to swing down, grab the bag, and we'll automatically be put into a cutscene with a radio call after that. Let's hold down the action button on PlayStation, that's the triangle button, to skip through all of this, and when this is done, then we'll have some cutscenes. We can just skip through that with the crouch button, which on the PlayStation is the X button.
Snake.
Back in control of Snake, let's equip our weapon, and then we're going to walk forward, look down on the ground, and there will be a snake there. Let's shoot that snake, and then we'll go and collect him. Because it's a tranquilizer gun, we catch him live, and when we collect it, we get the Can I Keep It trophy. Now, there's another trophy for eating this guy, so let's open up our survival viewer and then go down to food. We'll select the giant anaconda and then eat him. And we get the snake eater trophy. Let's close out of the food menu and go to the camouflage tab. Now we can see the different face paints we have as well as the different uniforms. Now let's choose the Flecktarn camo from this list. It's one of the ones that we got by selecting the I like MGS3 option at the beginning, and it also gives unlimited battery power, so that's pretty cool. In addition to the Flecktarn uniform, we're going to put on the woodland face paint, raising our base camouflage to 50%. Once that's done, let's close out of here, and then we're going to lie down right here on this ground. That gets us the I Can Totally See You trophy by raising our camo index up to 90% or above. Now we're going to call one of the healing radio stations. That gets us another trophy. So you want to open up your radio and go to frequency 140.01. Once you call that, you listen to a little song, you can get your stamina back, it heals you up, and you get the Serenity Now trophy as a result. There are many different frequencies for this, and I'm going to cover them all later on when they're a little bit more useful to us. The next thing is to open up your items, go over to the fake death pill, and then hit that X button, and you're going to die, and you'll get the mostly dead trophy. But we don't really die, we just have this screen show up that says, well, Snake is dead. It starts to shift over to time paradox if you let it go. We're not going to choose continue, we're not going to choose exit from here. Instead, what we want to do is open up our menu again, go over to the revival pill, hit X, and we're going to revive ourselves right to the same position where we were before. That's useful in a couple different areas of the game. Now we're going to go back the way that we came, and we're going to stand right in front of this climbable tree. We're going to grab our gun, and we're going to look up in the tree. There's going to be a fruit hanging here. We can shoot it down, and then we can go and collect it. This gives us D-Med and our fruit to be. Now let's go back to that log that we crawled under before, and we're going to crawl back under it. Once we're on the other side, stand up and look over toward the right side. There's going to be another log across the way here. We'll grab our gun and shoot the mushroom right ahead of us on that stump. That gets us our mushroom A. There's going to be a snake on the ground over here. Let's shoot him, go down, and then collect him. This is snake H. There is some tranquilizer gun ammo in the back here if you want it. However, we're playing on very easy, so we have the easy gun, which has unlimited ammo and suppressor, so we'll be using that through the majority of the run. Now we're going to go through the grass here all the way to the far right side. We'll climb up this hill, and when we get to the top, we'll look at the rock to our left side. On the top of it is going to be a little green frog statue. That's a Keratin frog. We'll shoot it. It's going to play a little sound letting us know that we did it successfully, and we get the Prince Charming trophy as a result. Now let's go back down that same hill that we just ran up. There are a few more things we want to collect in this area, so we're going to go back and stand in front of that log that we've crawled under a few times. On our left side there's a tree, and at the base of it is a mushroom. Let's shoot the mushroom and then collect our mushroom C. Now, right behind us, there's a patch of grass. If you look very carefully, you can see the grass moving every once in a while on its own. That means that there's an animal hiding down inside of it. So when we look closely, we're going to see that there's a little rustle of grass over here on the right side. We can go into first-person view, and then we're going to aim our gun at the frog that's walking around in here. We can go ahead and grab that frog. That's frog B. We can also get him a little bit later on if you don't want to get him right here. He is a little bit easier in a future area. So now we're going to go back under this log again. We're now done with the very first section of the game. There was a lot here, and now we're going to move on into the next area. So just run past that climbable tree and down the path. Moving into the Dramuji Swampland, we're going to just keep running straight ahead down this path. There's a lot of things that we want to grab in this area as well, so we can do them either now or we do have to come here later on too, but I'll just show you what it's like to do it the very first time you come through, just to cross it off your list. So there's a Gavial straight ahead of us. It's a big crocodile. Grab your survival knife and then go and make kind of a T shape coming up to him. Go perpendicular and then just start stabbing him. And you want to stab him a bunch of times. It will take a while, but eventually you'll kill him. Later on, we're going to have a lethal gun that we can use to just shoot him once in the head and then he should be gone. But this is the way it works too if you just want to make sure that you get him the first time you come through and then don't have to worry about it later on. So after you're done stabbing him, you'll be able to pick up our Gavial. And now we're going to go a little bit further straight ahead. And we're going to turn left. And we're going to just roll right past these guys. You can then keep going on down the path. When you get up here, you'll start walking through the grass. Look over on the right side, up on top of the hill. There's going to be another Keratin frog. Go ahead and shoot him. And then turn left. And we're going to keep proceeding down the path into the next area. A little cutscene will play. Let's just go ahead and skip that, and then we also get a radio conversation.
Snake, you'll...
Okay, in this area we have some enemies, so what we're going to do is to save the game, because we do have to kill an enemy for one of the trophies, and we don't want that on our record, so we're going to save the game. We're going to do a couple combat-related trophies, and then we're going to reload the save a little bit later on.
Hey, Snake, you ever...
Starting off, let's run straight ahead. There's going to be an enemy walking toward us, and we're going to wait behind the tree that's just to the right side of the path. He'll be walking toward us, completely oblivious of his impending doom. What we want to do is to hold him up, which means that we have to get close to him without him noticing and then point our gun straight at him from a very close distance. So as he gets closer, we'll wait until he gets right by us, and then we're going to pop around the corner, hold him up. He's going to put his hands in the air like he just doesn't care, giving us an aptly named trophy. And then what we want to do is to engage him in combat. If you have a weapon that says CQC, you can hit the punch button while pushing a direction. That will grab the enemy and throw him on the ground, getting you the Mama Said trophy for knocking him out. There's another enemy coming. Let's hide behind the tree until he gets here. Then we're going to come around here. We're going to grab him by holding down that punch button. And then if you hit the weapon select button, you can interrogate him and get the trophy, tell me where the bomb is. Then when you've had enough of him, you can hit the action button, which is the triangle button on PlayStation, to slit his throat, getting the close shave trophy. Well, we've just killed a guard, but we don't want to have that guard dead when we beat the game, so we want to reset the game by holding down the 4 shoulder buttons, as well as the equivalent of the start and select button on whatever controller you're using. On the PlayStation 5, that would be the L1, L2, R1, R2 options and touchpad buttons. Hold those down for a few seconds and you'll go back to the main menu. If you don't have options and touchpad, if you're using another controller, it's just the same buttons that you use to open up the radio, as well as open up the survival viewer, and all 4 of your shoulder buttons as well. So once you get back to the main menu, then you can reload that previous save that we made when we first entered this area. That guard is now back alive, not on our record, and we're going to start by going over toward the right side. We're going to run past all these trees. If you're going up a hill, you can roll to go a little bit faster, and then you can go around the trees in the back. There's going to be the SVD sniper rifle that we can pick up here. Now we're going to run back toward the area where that guard was, and we're going to now sneak past him without him seeing us, because we need to go through this whole game without an alert as well. So let's go back over here. We can see him walking toward us still. Let's shoot him in the head and he'll go down no problem. On very easy, you can basically shoot a guard anywhere and they're going to go down really fast. There's another guard at the end. Let's go ahead and shoot him. And once he's gone, we can aim up and we're going to shoot a fruit out of the tree. Then we're going to run forward and we're going to collect that fruit, and it's our fruit C. After grabbing the fruit, turn right, and we're going to run until we get about to this log on our right side. If you look straight ahead, there's going to be a stump over here and a guard over on the left. Let's shoot the guard and then look at that stump. At the very top, there's another Keratin frog we can shoot. And now we're going to go around the stump a little bit further, and we can grab some stun grenades from behind the tree. Now we're going to run along the path over in the direction where that guard was, and we're going to walk carefully around here looking for the next guard. That's going to be appearing at the top, and once we see him, we're able to then take him out and he won't bother us anymore. Now turn around and we're going to use that stun grenade by going into our backpack and selecting it from the menu. So we're going to grab our stun grenade and then we're going to throw one down into this grassy area. If you look closely, there's some rustling in the grass here. We'll throw that stun grenade in. It's going to knock out whatever animal is living inside there. Let's run down and grab our bird D. Now we're going to run back up this hill, and we're going to keep going past the exit of this area, and we're going to keep going all the way to the right side. There's going to be a hollowed out tree stump over here. If we go inside, we can grab some grenades. Now we're going to run up on top of the hill here, and we're going to grab our gun and look up in the tree. There's going to be small brown fruits up here. Let's shoot them, and then we'll grab that. That will give us our fruit A and the Everything is in Season trophy. Now head back, and we're going to go through this grass. Don't go too far, just kind of stop in the middle of this grass patch. Grab a stun grenade and throw it over here into this patch of grass on the other side by the tree. When that goes off, it will knock out the bird that's over here. So let's go ahead and grab him. This is going to be our bird E. That's everything that we need in this area. Now let's proceed on to the exit and move into the next area. So we'll run past this sleeping guard, and very easy, these guards stay sleeping for a very long time, so you'll never have to worry about these guys waking up on us. And we'll head up the hill and out into Dolina Vodno. There's going to be another cutscene. Let's skip that, and then we're going to walk forward a little bit. We can crouch down and get a good shot at two things. One is the bee's nest up at the top. That's going to knock it down, scaring this guard away and giving us the Beekeeper trophy. And there's a Keratin frog at the top of the leftmost post when we look at it on this side of the bridge. Let's head down the hill and then run forward. We can grab the ointment and our nest. And now we're going to run right in the middle of the bridge. There's 5 slats in the bridge. You want to go right down the middle of it. And if you run right down that way, you won't fall off. Then hang a left and we can slowly walk off the edge here and you'll fall down. If you hit the crouch button and then repeatedly hit the action button, you'll drop and then catch yourself on the ledge below you. Now just hit the action button again to climb back up to the top, and you're able to grab the XM16E1. as well as the Pentazamin right next to it. Once that's done, head back over to the side. You can either press against the wall and just walk up along the edge, or if you fall down, just shimmy over toward the left, hit that action button again to climb back up, and we're going to keep proceeding kind of straight ahead while hugging the left side, and that will take us over into the next zone. When you enter Rosvet, you'll have a cutscene that you can skip as well as a radio transmission. Go ahead and skip past all of this, and then we'll be able to proceed on. There are 3 guards that we have to deal with in this area. Let's grab our easy gun, we can run forward, and then we can aim at the guard next to us. We'll just shoot him straight ahead, and then there's another one just beyond him a little bit to the left. We'll hit him, and now we can run ahead, and we're going to wait before going into the main broken building area. There's going to be another guard who's walking out from our left side toward our right. We'll shoot him and then go into this area. If you run to the back left corner, there's a crack in the wall. Look through that. There's a Keratin frog. If you can't hit him from here, then lean over toward the right side. You'll get a better shot at him. From here, turn around, and then you can run behind this box and grab the M37 shotgun. Once you have that, we're going to go out of this broken building, and we're going to follow the wall until we get to the end. When we get over there, we're going to turn to our left, and we're going to crawl under the crawl space by this broken window. As you crawl in, you'll see that there's a rat that's going to run right in front of us. Let's go ahead and shoot him when he stops, and then we'll crawl forward and pick him up. So there's the rat. We'll grab him, and now turn around and then leave the same way we came, crawling out of that crawl space. When you get outside, stand up, go back into the building, and then turn toward your right side. You can run over here, you can roll up if you want some extra style points, and then go into the door on your right side. As you approach the door, then you'll be getting a bunch of cutscenes and some radio calls going back and forth. Just skip through all of this. And you get the Young Gun trophy by making Ocelot submit. Now what we want to do is immediately call Paramedic, and we're going to save the game because we have to do another kill here for another trophy. After you save the game, then Paramedic will tell us all about some movie that she really likes. Let's just skip through all of that. Now we need to equip our survival knife, and we're going to kneel down next to Ocelot. Go into first person view mode, look at him, and just start tapping that weapon button to rapidly slash at him. Eventually he'll die, and that will get us the Problem Solved Series Over trophy by killing Ocelot. Because Snake Eater is the first game to take place chronologically throughout the whole Metal Gear world and continuum, it created a time paradox. So if we hit the exit button, you'll see that Ocelot being dead does in fact create that time paradox, and we don't want that. We also don't want that kill on our record, so that's why we want to exit back to the main menu, and then we can reload that save. So now we're going back to where we were before, and we're just going to run down the path, and we're going to go back to that bridge that we got to before. And this is really the end of the Virtuous mission. We're done with this section of the game, and we can continue on. We've got no kills so far that the game remembers, and we have no alerts or anything like that. When we leave that area, we get a whole bunch of cutscenes. Let's just skip through all of this stuff. None of it really matters. We can skip through the radio transmissions, and then we're going to open up our survival viewer, and we have to go to the Cure tab. Now, we're going to have some deep cuts and some broken bones. Deep cuts require suture kits, bandages, styptics, and disinfectant, and broken bones require splint and bandage. Just heal yourself up all the way, and then you'll have another couple cutscenes. Skip through all of that, and then when you're prompted to save the game, you can either save it or don't save it. It doesn't really matter. There's no limit to the number of times that you can save for what we're doing here, so save frequently. You know, you can save every single zone if you want to. It just takes a little bit more time to do that. So now we're just going to skip through all of these cutscenes and radio transmissions once again, and we're going to begin Operation Snake Eater. Starting off in Jermuji East, we're going to open our survival viewer, go down to the Cure tab, and we're going to spin Snake around. Just hold down that right analog stick to keep spinning him. You need to do this about 10 seconds or so to get him good and dizzy, and once that's all done, then you can go ahead and close out the survival viewer, and then Snake will be not feeling so well. He'll throw up, and that will get us the Ralph Called trophy. Well, after getting that gross trophy, we're going to do some collecting in this area. So start by going a little bit toward the right side here. There's going to be some grass ahead of us. Go ahead, grab that gun, whatever one you want. I'm using the easy gun. Look down on the ground. You can shoot a frog on the ground here. Go ahead, grab him. That's frog A. And now we're going to go down the path right ahead of us. As you move into the wide open area, stick toward the left side. Against the left wall, there's going to be a couple logs that look like a shelter. Inside of it is a Keratin frog, so go ahead and shoot that guy. If you need to, lean a little bit toward the right for a better shot. After shooting the frog, turn around and go to the opposite wall. There's going to be a patch of ground in between the two patches of grass. There's a green plant down here. Shoot that, and that's going to be C-Med. Now we're going to run over toward this big log on the ground. You can see it here, and we're going to stick toward the top part of it. If you look at the base of the tree here, there's going to be a small plant. Go ahead, shoot that, and that's going to be disinfectant. Now what we want to do is to look around for something flying through the trees. It's actually a flying squirrel, and you need to be patient because what it does is that it climbs up the tree till it gets toward the top, and then it will zoom over to another tree. So it could be in any of these trees, really. We're just going to look around here and just keep looking to see something gray shooting through the area. And we're just going to be patient as we look around, keep looking at the different trees. We're going to move over here, and you just saw it zoom right through the screen here, and we're going to look over at the tree behind us now, and there it is climbing up the tree. We're going to shoot this guy, and then we're going to collect him. That's going to be squirrel. If we open up the survival viewer, we can go to the food tab, and there is the flying squirrel. That's what we're looking for. Once we have all of that, now we're going to just proceed up the path and then go over into the next area. This is Jamuji North. Let's keep heading down, and we're going to then go down the slope here. A little bit ahead of us is going to be a green snake that's hanging down from the tree. So before you go too far, look right ahead of us. It's directly on our path here. We're going to just grab a gun, doesn't really matter which one. We're going to shoot that snake, and we're going to go collect him. This is going to be Snake F. As we walk forward, we get another little cutscene. Let's skip through all of that, as well as the following radio call. There are two guards that are going to be running toward us, so let's go over here toward the wall just so they can't see us. We'll put on the easy gun so we have that permanent 80% camo index. They're really not going to be able to see us like this now, and we're just going to wait for them to pass. After they run past, we're going to go right behind them, go over to this big patch of grass, and look at it carefully because what you'll see is the grassway moving. That means that there's an animal waiting for us in here. Go ahead, look down, and shoot him. This is going to be another snake that we need to collect, and once he gets turned into a cage, we're just going to collect him. This is going to be Snake A. You must capture him alive and hold on to him because we need him for a trophy later. Now let's run straight ahead to this tree with the climbable vines. We'll go up to the branch at the top, and when you get up here, go into first-person view mode, turn around, and there's going to be a Keratin frog waiting for you on the rock right behind us. So shoot him, and then we can hop down out of the tree. I was being a little paranoid here looking for guards. I didn't want to get caught or anything, so let's hop down here once I think that the coast is clear, and now we're going to go back out the way that we came. So run down here, this is where we collected Snake A. We'll turn to the left, there are the two guards patrolling around here. Let's go ahead and shoot them just to get them out of the way, and we're going to continue down the path straight ahead from us. We're backtracking through the previous areas where we went through in the Virtuous mission. Now we're back to the Dramuchi Swampland, and we're going to continue down the path until we get to the muddy swamp at the bottom. Then we're going to go around toward the right side, and you can see a tree immediately on our right. There's a Keratin frog waiting back here, so go behind the tree and then shoot the frog. After shooting that frog, go over and go to the island right here in the middle and then go across. We're just going to work our way back around here. Watch out for the gavials. They can hit you, but they don't do a whole lot of damage, especially on this difficulty setting. And now we're going to go back up through the path all the way to the very starting area where we began the Virtuous mission, and that's going to be Dramuchi South. Let's start running forward until just about the time that we get to that log that's laying across our path that we can crawl under. There's a tree on our left side. If you look to the bottom of it, there's a plant sticking out of the ground. Let's shoot that and then pick up the splint. Now we're going to crawl under that log, going to the other side of this area. There are two new animals over on this side of the log. If you stand up, then you can look a little bit toward the left of the markhor. There's going to be a rabbit over there, so shoot him. If you shoot the markhor, which is the big goat thing, then you're able to put him to sleep, but we do need to kill him actually in order to get his meat. So we're going to just attack him with a knife until we can harvest that meat, and then we're going to go over here, and our cage is full. We can just go into the food menu inside the survival viewer, and we're able to then use something up. You do not want to use up the king cobra. We need that, but get rid of either the flying squirrel or that Otan frog if we got that one earlier. So leave the king cobra there, and now we can pick up the rabbit. So we got the rabbit and the markhor in this area. Speaking of that king cobra, let's open up our backpack in the weapons menu, and we're going to select the king cobra and add it to our list of weapons because we are going to weaponize that snake to get a trophy in just a few moments. Once that's done, then head over to the side. There's going to be a log across the path here, and we can see the Keratan frog straight ahead of us. Go ahead and shoot him, and then hop up over this log to get to the other side. On the right side, there's a tree with a bunch of different stalks coming up here, and at the base of it, there's going to be another medicinal plant that we can shoot. Shoot that plant, it's revealed as a styptic, and we can pick it up for a new trophy. This time it is the Just What the Doctor Ordered trophy. So once you have that, we have all the medicinal plants collected, and now we can proceed on with the game. We're going to now backtrack all the way to where we started Operation Snake Eater, so just follow along as I go. I don't need to explain every step of the way, just keep following the paths straight ahead of us. Now that we're back in Dramuji North, we're just going to continue down the path until we can see a guard straight ahead of us. Here's that guard. Let's take him out, and now we'll just proceed on. We'll go up this grassy hill, and that will take us into the next section, which is Delino Vodno. We're going to get 2 new trophies in this area, but it involves getting spotted by a guard. So we don't want that. We're going to go ahead and call paramedic, and we're going to save the game at this point. So that way we can reload it after we've gained our 2 new trophies.
Hey, Snake.
Now let's run forward a little bit until we get spotted by the guard down here at the bottom. So he's waiting there by the bridge. We'll go ahead and grab Snake A and equip him as a weapon. Now we'll slide down here and get spotted by the guard. What we want to do is to aim the snake right at the guard. If we hit him with it, we get the snake bit trophy. The guard is now poisoned. That's how you get that trophy. And now we're going to wait here until we suffer a gunshot wound. We're then able to go into the cure menu, and we're able to use the knife to dig that bullet out of us, and then close up the wound by using the suture kit, the bandage, the styptic, and the disinfectant. Once that's done, we get the Don't Touch the Sides trophy by removing that bullet with a knife. So those were the 2 trophies we needed. Let's go ahead and just reset the game, and we're going to reload it and continue on from right where we were in this area. So now we do not want to get spotted by the guard, so we're just going to go ahead and we can shoot him with the easy gun just to take him out, and then we can proceed on past him. Let's keep going straight down the middle of this bridge. If we stick to the center, we can run the whole way without falling off. After you get across the bridge, look over toward your right side. There's going to be the rock wall. At the top of it, you'll see a Keratin frog against the skyline. So go ahead, hit that, and then we're going to proceed left and down and around this area. If we hug the left wall, we'll go down to that narrow pathway, and we're able to go along this way either by pressing against the wall and shimmying, or if you lightly go off the edge, then you can just use your hands to go across as you hold yourself up. At the bottom, grab the life medicine, the raindrop uniform, and the smoke grenades. Once you have those 3 items, we're going to go back up to the top and then hug that left wall as you go, and that will take you out into the next area. We're at Rosvet. There are no enemies here right now, so all we have to do is run straight ahead. As we follow the path along, we're going to go into that ruined area, into this broken down building, and we're going to head inside and then stick toward the right. If you go and look under the stairs, there's going to be another Keratin frog. Go ahead, shoot him, and now we're going to go up the stairs. Once you're at the top, you'll be able to go around this barrel, and there's going to be the AK-47 waiting for us. Now let's open up our survival viewer, go to the backpack, into the weapons tab, and then we're going to equip that AK-47, and we can unequip the King Cobra at this time as well. So once we have those things settled, we're going to then equip the AK-47, and we're going to fire one entire magazine, just empty that whole magazine out, and what that does is it creates a new item for us inside of our backpack. So let's open up that survival viewer, look at our backpack. In the weapons tab, we now have the magazine waiting for us. So that's one thing that we were able to add to our inventory just by shooting that. Okay, we can unequip the AK-47, we don't need it anymore, and now we're going to go back down the stairs. At the bottom, we can run over toward the side here, and we're going to run around the entire perimeter of this area. We're going to go pick up another face paint for us. It's going to be in the back corner of this area. So run around the building and then turn left, and you're going to go to the far corner here and pick up the face paint for the zombie design. So once you have that, we're going to go back into the building, and now we can proceed on where we're supposed to be going. We're going to climb up here and then go over toward the right side, and we can go up into the room here. Now before you do anything, go to the lockers immediately on your right, open it up, and grab the thermal goggles. Once you have that, there's nothing really more to do here, so let's head on out and we're going to get a cutscene. In fact, we're going to get many cutscenes as well as the ability to save the game at this point. So go ahead and save the game. We do have kind of a tricky section coming up here, but I'm going to show you a pretty easy way to get past it. So starting off, what you want to do is grab your easy gun. You can then look up, get on your tiptoes, and then shoot out the window. There's a guard there, and now we can go down through the trap hole. You can turn over toward the left side, and we're going to crawl along here until we get to this opening straight ahead of us. As you get close, you're going to see the legs of a guard kind of scurried across here. We're just going to track his movements, and then he'll be waiting in the grass for us. Just go ahead, take aim, and shoot him in the leg. He'll be sleeping in no time. Now let's crawl out, and we're going to go around the side here. Look carefully up at the skyline. There's going to be a guy up on the roof. Let's go ahead, shoot him. Now let's go over to the ladder against the wall, and we'll climb up the ladder to get to the roof where that last guard was that we just shot. Once we're on the roof, let's run over to where his body is. Be careful, you might fall down. Just pick yourself back up with the action button. And when you're up at the top here, go ahead and equip your stun grenade. Go toss it against the wall opposite you, and then that will explode, and that will take out the 4 remaining guards. So there you have it. All the guards are eliminated, and now we can just go over toward the side here, and we can drop down, and we're able to pick up a cardboard box at the top of these boxes here. Just climb on up, up, and then you can get up. For some reason, I really struggle with getting to the top of this box. Every time I go through this game, I always really struggle to get that. So grab the cardboard box A, and then in the corner here are some more smoke grenades if you want to grab those. And then we're going to run around and kind of just proceed out of this area. We're going to go around kind of by where that ladder was and just keep running until you get to a cutscene. Let's skip the cutscene, and now we just have to go back to the exact same area that we just were. So we'll run around the building over toward where that ladder was, but this time we can actually keep going down this little alleyway until we can go out into the next zone. As you're running, you can grab the bug juice on the way as well. Okay, there's a few things that we want to get in this area, so let's proceed forward until we get to the water's edge. There's going to be a snake right in front of us, so go ahead and shoot that guy, and we're going to pick him up. This is Snake D, and then turn left, follow the water's edge, and there's going to be another snake in front of you that looks just like the one that we shot, but this is a different snake. When you pick him up, you'll see that this is Snake E. Keep following the edge of the water, and then you can go down in between the trees here. There's a couple items waiting for us. There's also a Gavio that will come up and try to attack you. Just shoot him once in the mouth, and he's gone. There's then a frog swimming right here. Go ahead, shoot that frog. You can pick him up. You can pick up some more Gavio meat if you want it, as well as the item boxes in the water, which contain AK-47 bullets, as well as the white phosphorus grenade, and the other one is some more smoke grenades for us. Now we want to go under the water by crouching and then swimming forward. We can then shoot the fish swimming around here. Let's go ahead, swim up here, and grab fish C. Now we can turn around and go back toward shore. Eventually we want to go across the lake here. I'm not going to do that just yet because there is one more frog that we want to get in this area. We can get him a little bit later on too, but we'll just get him now and get him crossed off of our list. So let's go back to shore here. And if you look in the water, there's a red frog swimming around in this area. Go ahead, shoot the red frog, pick him up. That's going to be Frog C, and we get a new trophy for that called Them's Good Eatin'. That's everything we need from this side of the lake. Now we can proceed over to the other side of the lake where there's some more things for us. So I'm going to start swimming across here. You might hear some sucking noises. Those are leeches grabbing onto us. You can either use bug juice to prevent the leeches from grabbing onto you, or you can deal with them on the other side. I'll show you how to do that. So just go ahead, start swimming under the water, and that's going to take us to the other side of the lake. As you go across here, be very careful to watch out for the Gavials. They will jump out and grab you. If they grab you while you're swimming underwater, it can be a one-hit kill for you. It shows a little animation of Snake being brutally murdered by the Gavials. So just be prepared that you don't want to swim too close to those things. Make sure you go around them until you get to the other side. You can use the cure menu to use a cigar, and that will burn the leeches off of you, and that's a good way to cure yourself of the leech infestation from swimming across here. When you get to the other side of the lake, you get a mandatory call from Eva. We're just going to skip through all of this and then proceed on. Turn immediately toward your right and then go down to the water's edge. There's an item waiting for us down under the water. It's kind of tricky to see because the colors all blur together here, but I'll point the gun kind of right at it. It's down kind of in the middle of the water here. So just go forward and you're able to walk across here and get the uniform Gakao and the chaff grenades. So once you have those things, now we can go back up onto land. There is a Keratan frog in this area. I'll show you where it is. Just run to the other side of this area, and then you can see a tree right here. Just go back into the water, and if you look under the water here, it's actually going to be at the base of this tree. So go ahead, look at the left side of the base of the tree and shoot the Keratan frog. Now just resurface, and we're going to go back onto land, and then we'll proceed on through the next area. On the way up, there is going to be a trap, a little tripwire across the way. Don't get caught in that. Just run forward and roll through it. If you get more leeches, just take them off with the cigar again. So run forward. You can roll straight over this tripwire without hitting it, and you can proceed on to Bolshaya Pass South. There's a lot of guards and guard dogs in this area. Run along the path on the right side. You can crawl underneath this electrified fence. Do not touch it or you will take some decent damage. Then when you get across here, just stand up and you can run across the fence here and then hug this left wall as you go across. There are some claymore mines in front of us, so before you leave those ferns, start crawling again and you can go straight forward to pick up a claymore. Now turn left and you can just keep crawling along here. Pick up more claymores if you want. We're not going to use them ever, but you can just clear them out as you go along. Now we can run over toward this area. There is another claymore right by the base of this climbing tree, so make sure you crawl and grab that one before you just run and get hit by that claymore. After you've gotten those, climb up the tree until you get to the top part here. You can get out onto the branch and there's going to be a guard dog on the other side. You can either ignore him or just shoot him with a tranquilizer gun if you want to. So we'll just proceed on ignoring him for right now. If you run alongside the fence, you can just go without being seen and you'll get over toward the right side where there's some muddy water. We're going to not go in the muddy water, instead just hug the right wall as we go across. There's going to be a guard down here. We'll just look at him and shoot him and he's going to take a nice nap. Now proceed on. We can climb up onto these little ledges until we get up top. Go along and then press yourself up against the wall and you're going to shimmy all the way across. You do need to be very careful to make sure you're pressed firmly against that wall. If you let go, you'll fall off and go into the mud and have to start this whole section over. To be safe, just keep going against the wall until you can see the item on the other side. When that item box appears in the lower left corner of your screen, that's how you know that you've made it far enough. So you see it there, we'll go ahead and grab it. It's the splitter uniform. Now there's going to be a Keratan frog right at the base of this branched tree, and we'll shoot him and then look over toward the left side. There's going to be a guard over here. We can take him out and now we don't have to worry about him. We'll proceed on in the direction of that guard, and then we can go in between the opening of the fence. We'll keep going along the edge of that fence until we can go inside this hollowed out tree trunk. Grab the Choco Chip uniform, and then proceed on along the path until you get to the next area, which is going to be Bolshaya Past Base. There's a lot to do here, and we'll get a new trophy in this area, so let's proceed straight forward, and we can look along this trench all the way on the other side. There's going to be a guard waiting over here. We'll shoot him with a tranquilizer gun, then turn toward our left. There's going to be another guard far away. We'll shoot him, and then what we want to do is go down into the trench, and we can start to crawl under the little bridge here. There's going to be the snow face paint that we can grab. Let's keep going through here, and then we can stand up on the other side. Then what we want to do is go hop out on this side on the right. There's a guard on the other side of the fence. Go ahead, shoot him, and once he's out of the way, we're going to proceed left and go around here, around the fence, until we can get to the other side of this area. There's going to be a guard over here on our left side. Let's shoot him, and then we'll turn around, and there's going to be another guard walking along here. Go ahead, shoot that guard too. Now let's proceed on. We do not want that guard to stay here. We're going to move him, so take off all of your weapons, and then we're going to hold down the weapon button to grab him, and we can start to drag him away from that helicopter. We don't want him too close to that helicopter at this time. So we'll just bring him over here kind of to the edge of the building. We'll drop him off right about here. That looks good, and we can grab the grenade from him. Now we're going to go into this building here. There's going to be a few things, some rations, some calorie mates, and a mouse trap. It's very important that you grab that mouse trap because we're going to use it later. Now let's go into this building here, and we're going to look underneath the desk. There's going to be another Keratan frog here. Let's go ahead, shoot that frog, and then go under the bed. You can crawl under here to grab another mouse trap. Once you have those things, let's crawl out of the bed, and then we're going to go around into the left door. If you go over here, you're able to go outside this door, and now we're back outside right by the ladder. We'll climb up the ladder to get up onto the roof. If you go over toward the far corner of the roof, you can go ahead and grab the uniform for the water camouflage. Now what we want to do is to have a little fun by going down to the ground level, and we'll follow this trail around. The building straight ahead of us is the communications building. We can go inside of that and we can grab some things like some medicines. Go ahead, loot that. We're not really going to use these things ever, but at least we have them now. And now we can keep going past that building, going through all of these trees to get to the building in the back. When we get here, we're going to go into it. This is the armory. Let's go ahead and grab everything in here, including the TNT. Go into your backpack and then grab that TNT and equip it. Once you have it, use the weapon button and you're going to plant it down onto the ground. And we're going to go outside and run a little ways away into the trees, and if you hit the punch button, you're able to blow up that building and get the Just Because trophy. So what you can do is blow up different types of buildings like this. In different areas of the game, there's going to be armories, there's going to be communications buildings, and there's going to be the food storehouses that we've just looted all of those places. If you blow them up with the TNT, you're able to weaken the guards. You can take away their ammo, you can take away their stamina if you take away their food. You can make it so that they can't call for reinforcements by taking out their communications ability. It's a really cool little touch that you can do to make the game a little bit easier for you if you take the time to eliminate the things that help the soldiers in this area. So we'll blow that up, and then we're going to go over here. This was actually a second playthrough that I did, so apologies that I have to move this guard again. I know I showed you that already, but I really want to emphasize making sure that this guard is not right by that helicopter. We're about to blow up the helicopter just for fun, and if you have the guard too close to it, the explosion will actually kill him. That happened to me, unfortunately, and that will cost us a trophy. So make sure he's cleared away. You don't actually have to blow up this helicopter. I'm just doing it for fun, so skip this if you want to, but if you want to have some fun with it, just blow up the helicopter, and you can ruin it and kind of ruin their day at the same time. So once all that's done, we're just going to proceed on past this guard. If we go and keep the communications building on your right side as you go out, that's how you know the direction that you want to head. And we'll just go straight out this exit to Bolshaya past Crevice. Here we have our first boss fight against Ocelot. Turn around and run to the back left corner of this area behind this tree. When you get here, go ahead, pull out your gun, and there's going to be a Keratan frog across the way from us. So shoot him on the ground over there, and now we can run around. There's a climbable tree just on the other side here. Let's climb up here. That gives us a really good vantage point where we can pretty much see Ocelot no matter where he goes up here. We're kind of exposed, but he's very exposed as well, and well, this is very easy mode, so we're not too concerned about taking a lot of damage. We just want to be able to damage him quickly so we can continue on. So just keep him in sight and finish him off as quickly as possible. Make sure that you're using that tranquilizer gun. You do not want to kill any of the bosses, just like any of the other guards that you come across. And when you defeat him or any of the other bosses using the tranquilizer gun or any non-lethal weapons, you're able to get a special camouflage and uniform from them. So we're just going to finish this guy off, and then we'll proceed on with the game.
My technique, it was perfect. I've never felt a tension like this before.
After you beat Ocelot, there'll be some cutscenes. Skip that, and then we're going to go to this big gray rock straight ahead of us. There's the animal's uniform waiting for us there. If you use the cigar, you'll take a little bit of damage, but you can also see a little bit more easily. We're going to proceed forward, keeping the wall on our left side, and we're just going to run around here until we get to an area where there's two waterfalls. Between those two waterfalls is a little cubby. Go inside there and you're able to pick up some white phosphorus grenades and a torch. Let's go ahead and equip that torch from our backpack. It's in the weapon menu. We can grab the torch and now we can see a whole lot better in this area. We don't need the cigar anymore, so take that off and then grab the torch instead, and now you can see pretty easily. What you want to do is to look on the ground. There's going to be a crab walking around here. Go ahead and shoot the crab, and then there's also some green glowing mushrooms right here. Go ahead and grab mushroom E as well as the crab that's on the ground. We were not able to pick them up because we were full on food. Go ahead and eat something or just discard stuff. Doesn't really matter what you want to do. And once that's all gone, then go ahead and grab our crab. We'll put the torch back on, turn around, and we're going to leave the cubby and just go straight across the water. There's going to be a very small passageway here. We're going to follow this passageway until we get to the end of it. Once you're here, just keep going along the right side, and then you'll get to the end. You're able to then crawl down through a little crawl space here. There's another Russian glow cap mushroom. We collected this one already, but we're just going to collect a few more because they have the added benefit of recharging batteries for us. We can also just use the Fleck-Tarn camo if we want to. That will keep our batteries nice and full as we use things that require batteries like night vision goggles and thermal goggles, but we can also just eat those Russian glow caps. So as we proceed on, we're going to get to this new area. We'll just keep crawling through here until we get out into another crawl space. So keep going down here, and we're going to just crawl through this whole little tunnel. Once you're out, then you can stand up and keep running along the path. You'll get into this area with a big hole in the ground. Don't go in the hole. Instead, run around here until you grab the night vision goggles on the ground. There's also a Keratan frog right in this area, so you want to grab a gun and then just shoot the frog right ahead of us. Seeing the frog is much easier if you have the night vision goggles equipped. You do have to go into your backpack, into the items tab, and then you're able to select the night vision goggles from there. Again, if you have that Fleck-Tarn camo, you don't have to worry so much about the batteries here, but batteries drain pretty slowly on very easy mode. So now we're going to run down and we're going to continue along this path. We basically have to backtrack all the way toward where we got that torch. So just keep going until we get through this tunnel. We're going to make a quick stop in this room because there's some bats flying around here that we want to get rid of. I'm just going to use up something from the inventory here so I have a place to put the bat. Go ahead, dispose of everything else that you don't really need anymore. And then once you've got some room, then look at the ceiling. There's going to be some bats flying around here. You can draw them out by grabbing the torch. Now when the bats come out, they get kind of angry and they start to attack you. Well, we don't want to take a lot of damage, so one trick that you can use to put them back along the top of the cave here is to actually go into your items and grab your sonar. If you then press down the left analog stick, you're able to ping the area and they hear that noise and then they go back to where they're resting. So we'll grab the night vision goggles again, just kind of look around here. You might be able to see some on the ceiling. They're kind of hard to get, so we're just going to look carefully at this place. If you kind of lose track of them, go ahead, just put your torch back on to resummon them. You can then try to get a good feel for where they are, ping the sonar, and put them back on the ceiling, all the while watching where they are, and hopefully you can get a good view on one of them. So couldn't really see anyone, so I'll put that torch back on. Here they come flying around again. We can then put the torch away and kind of look to see where one is. We'll ping the sonar. They're going to go back to the ceiling, and then we'll just find one on the ceiling, and then we can shoot him down. If I had to do that again, what I would probably do is to grab the AK-47 and just have them fly around here and then just shoot one in the air as they're swimming around me. It should work pretty well doing that. But anyway, we got one. We'll grab the R-Bat off the ground as well as the C-Med and the serum, and then we're going to go down through this crawl space to the other side of it. When you're out of the crawl space, you can drop down the ledge here, and then you can grab a couple things at the bottom. There's going to be a battery and some AK-47 bullets. So the battery is nice. It allows us to use our electronics a little bit longer. There's also going to be another Russian glow cap mushroom down here. Go ahead and grab that if you want to. And then we're going to proceed down the small canyon until we get to the bottom part here. Let's dive into the water, and on our left side there's going to be a tunnel. You can probably see it here under the water. That actually connects to that big hole in the ground by where we got that Keratin frog. So if you had shot that thing and then fallen down the hole, you would have come out on this side as well. So we're just going to continue swimming the long way across the water, and we'll get to the other side and then run back up onto land. Continue to follow the path around here until we get to the end of it. This takes us back right to the beginning of this area. This is where we grabbed that animal uniform. Now let's keep running here, and we're going to hug the right-hand wall, and we're going to go through this small tunnel. When you get to the end, you're going to be able to grab a couple things. There's going to be a snake on the ground here. Let's go ahead and shoot that snake. Let's collect that snake. It is Snake B. There's also some grenades and some pistol ammo, so grab that if you want to. And then we're going to go back along through the tunnel here. Just wanted to show you this too. I already explained it, but I'll show it to you that if you eat the Russian glow caps, you're able to recharge your battery. Now let's continue on down the path, and we're going to then hug the right-hand wall. And as soon as you get out of here, there's going to be a crawl space on the right side. Go ahead and start crawling through that. After you get out of that crawl space, you can stand up. You're in the water here. There's nothing really important that you need to pick up in this area or collect, so you can just really run to the end here. As you go toward the end, there is a skeleton on the right side who just has some more ammo for us. We don't need that, and there's also some bug juice on the way. So grab that if you want to, otherwise just keep heading out, and we'll go into the next area. From the starting point, hug the right wall. There's going to be a very narrow passageway that we want to go through, and we'll get to the end of it, and then there's going to be the M37 shotgun here. But we're not quite done with this passage yet because there's a crawl space ahead of us. So get down and start crawling until you get through it and you can stand up again. Let's stand up and then proceed forward. There's going to be a new camouflage or uniform for us. That's the snow uniform. Now we can crawl and go through another crawl space, and we're going to just take this to the end of it as well. When you get to the end, if you turn left, there's just some ammo over here. Nothing very important that we need to pick up. So we'll just keep going down the passageway. This is as if we turned right. Now, before you get to the end, stop. There's going to be this lighted area at the top. There's actually a Keratin frog right at the bottom of this oval-looking thing in the ceiling. So shoot the Keratin frog and then proceed on. This is going to be the boss fight against the Pain. All we have to do is try to inflict as much pain on him as quickly as possible. Open your survival viewer, go to your backpack and the weapons. We're going to put away the torch. We're going to put away the TNT as well as the directional microphone, and we're going to grab that M37 shotgun that we picked up in the cave here. That's really all that we need. We'll go ahead and pull out the easy gun, and we're just going to start shooting him. Headshots are definitely better, but body shots work pretty well here too. Just keep pelting him with that. If he gets his B armor, grab the M37 shotgun and shoot him. You have to shoot him just a couple times for all of that B armor to dissipate from him. We can really just stand here and tank those B hits. It doesn't really matter for us right now. This is very easy. We're able to get him down to half stamina without losing really any health on our end. And then after the cutscene, we'll start fighting him again. If he gets his little bee armor suit, go ahead and shoot that off with the M37 shotgun, and then just keep pelting him with that easy gun, and he'll be dead in just a few seconds. Again, don't worry about the bullet bees. You can dodge them if you want to, but it doesn't really matter because this is very easy mode. So we'll take him out, and then we will proceed on with this area. Be sure to beat him non-lethally so that we can grab his camouflage at the end of the fight. So once he's gone, we're going to get a new trophy. This is called Pain Relief for defeating the pain. We can just skip this cutscene as well and proceed on. So what you want to do is to look around here. There's going to be a path straight ahead of you and going over toward the right side. We're going to jump into the water straight ahead of us and then go over until we can get to the landing part of that ramp. Now we're going to go up the ramp following the wall around here in the path. And when you get to the top section here, look toward your right, and you're going to want to roll off the end of it when you get toward the end, and then that will take you onto his platform where we can grab the Hornet Stripe uniform from this point. The Hornet Stripe uniform keeps away pests, whether it's hornets or leeches, anything like that. We're not going to use it at all during this run, but we need to collect it anyway for one of the trophies. Then once you have that, then proceed on down into the cave entrance. This first section is pretty much just a very long hallway with nothing to do. Just proceed on down until you get to a cutscene. Go ahead, skip the cutscene, and then keep going. A little ways ahead, there's going to be a little carve out here. You can climb up here to grab the mine detector, and then hop back down and continue on. When you get to this big open area, look to the left side. There's going to be an opening here. Don't run into it just yet. Instead, crawl because there's some claymore mines waiting for us on the other side. So we want to go and collect those so they don't blow up in our face. While you're back here, then run to the back wall and then look up. There's going to be a Keratan frog waiting on the top of this little bridge of rock along the ceiling. Once you have him, then go out of that little area, turn left, and then proceed down the path. When you get to the top part here, you can run around and then just roll off the edge onto the lower platform, and now proceed out into the river area. There are a couple new fish that we need in this area, so I'm going to take just a moment to go through my food menu and get rid of anything that I don't really need. Let's walk forward a little bit, and if you look on the left bank, there's going to be a Keratan frog, and we can shoot him right here. Then go ahead and grab your lethal pistol, and then you're going to look in the water. There's a fish swimming right here. Let's shoot that fish. We don't need the big one. We need the medium-sized one, and there's also a very small fish in this area. So we have fish B. Now let's look down. There's going to be a very small fish floating around here. We can shoot him and then proceed forward. This is fish A, and when you pick him up, you get the Tall Tale trophy by collecting all of the fish in the game. Now let's keep going forward. There's some guards that are up on these little hovercraft things. We don't want to be seen by them, so all we really have to do is to put on our easy gun. We've got 80% camo index here. We can duck down under the water and just swim right under the searchlights. They'll never see us. Now let's just keep swimming all the way to the end, and at the fork at the end, we're going to hug the left side, and that will take us to a different area than where we're supposed to go, but there are things that we need to get over in the left side path. So let's go here. This is Ponizovia West. There are a few guards in this area, but it doesn't really matter. We can take them out without them ever seeing us. Just wade forward through the water a little ways, and you can see one guard kind of right in the middle of the screen now. We'll take him out, and then his friend is over on the right side. Once we take those two guards out, we don't really have to worry about anyone else in this area. Keep waiting for it a little bit. We're going to go toward the middle of the water, and then we can go underneath the water, swim forward along this trench, then go over toward the left side, and when you get close to these walls, then turn toward the right. There's going to be a Keratan frog behind the grate in the pipe. So shoot him, and then you can surface. We'll swim over toward the lower section of the pier, and we can now crawl up using the action button, and then we're just going to run up the path and then over toward the right side. We can go in here, and there's going to be a SVD sniper rifle waiting for us inside this armory. So we're going to go ahead and loot all this. If you wanted to, you could blow up that area, that's the armory, and you would take away all of the guards' ammunition, but we're trying to not be seen by anyone, much less fight any of the guards. So let's just ignore that for now, and then we'll proceed back out into the main river area. Before you go all the way there, though, make sure that you equip the SVD because we're going to be using it in the next area. Now we're back into Ponizovia South. This is the main river area where we were before. Now we'll just proceed straight forward and then turn toward the left side so that we can go into the other branching path here. So at the Ponizovia warehouse exterior, you get a small cutscene. Skip that, and then immediately you want to call paramedic to save the game. We are going to kill another person here, and that will get us a couple more trophies. So we'll want to save the game, kill the person, and then we will reload the save once that's done. Without moving, equip the SVD sniper rifle and then hit the L1 button to look forward. You can zoom in with the action button and shoot the end right in the head to instantly kill him. That's one of the bosses dead, and we are able to get the early end trophy by beating a boss before the actual boss fight, as well as getting the end trophy just by beating the boss like we normally would. Well, we don't want that kill to be on our record, so we're going to reload the save, and now we're going to walk forward slightly. Looking toward the left, we can see a Keratan frog up on the left side, and then there are two guards here, one straight ahead of us, and then another one hiding behind the boxes back here. You're able to carefully aim and shoot him. Those two guards are now eliminated. We don't have to worry about them, and we can proceed on. We'll swim straight ahead under the water, and when we get close to the dock or the little bridge here, go ahead, resurface, and then swim along the surface to get close to it. Use the action button to climb up, and then run along here until you can see the big boxes and the red door. Stop before you get too close, grab a gun, and then shoot one of the spiders either on the ground or on the wall there, and you're able to grab this guy. It is the R spider, and now we can go over and up the stairs into the next area. This is the Ponizovia warehouse. When you're in the warehouse, go up the stairs following the pathway around, and when you get over here, then look down. There's going to be a guard patrolling along the bottom part. Go ahead and shoot him. Once he's out of the way, proceed down the stairs and go to the back left corner. Right behind this box is going to be the desert face paint. Then stop and look up. There's going to be a guard walking toward the end of that pathway. Go ahead and shoot him when he gets close to the rail. Then look up, and a Keratan frog is waiting on top of the pipe right above that guard. With those guards eliminated, now we can proceed up the stairs, and we're going to go up into the first door that we come to. This is the food storehouse. Go ahead and grab things, including that mouse trap. And then we're going to keep going up the stairs, and we're going to go out of this area. This is another place where you could blow up that food storehouse with the TNT to weaken all the guards and give them lower stamina. We're now in Graniki Gorky South. Let's proceed straight ahead from the entry point. There's going to be a large tree right ahead of us. Go just to the left of it, and there's going to be a log on the ground. If you go to the right side of that log and look at the base of the tree, there's another mushroom here. Let's shoot that and then collect the R mushroom D. Go around the log and pick up the book. Now we're going to proceed straight ahead going along the path here. Watch out for traps. You'll see a climbable tree. Go around that and then stick to the left side of this tree. You'll be caught in a trap, but you'll see exactly where Keratin Frog is waiting for us. Use the action button to cut yourself down and then just aim up into the tree and shoot that frog. After you hit the frog, then just go to this ledge, climb up, and proceed down the path. Here we have the Graniki Gorky Lab exterior outside walls. What you want to do is first go into your backpack, if you haven't done this already, and we need our thermal goggles. You can put away the stuff that you don't really use right now, like the binoculars. Now grab the thermals and a gun, and we're going to walk forward and look at the bottom of the grass. There's going to be a very small little speck of light there. It's a very small bird. We want to hit that bird and then go over, grab him. That's going to be bird C, and follow the path along the left side here. Just hug that left wall. The guards and stuff won't see you in this area. And we're just going to go all the way to the end. There's going to be another gap in the fence. Go ahead, lean down, and then go all the way under that fence. It's another electrified fence, so don't touch it. As you go forward along the left wall, there's a keratin behind these trees, and then you can go over to this grassy area, crouch down, and crawl through the crawl space. This now gets us into the inside walls. Starting off here, stand up and then just run straight ahead. Once you get past these trucks, there's going to be a guard over on the left-hand side, and there's going to be a Keratin Frog right inside these windows. So we're going to shoot the frog first, and then we're going to go over here and shoot the guard. Once he's out of the way, then proceed past him. There's going to be a door here. Go inside of it, and you can grab the XM16E1. There's also some other ammo if you want to grab it. Otherwise, head out and then over toward the right side. You'll run along the side of the building until you get to the other side of it. There's going to be a guard walking through here. Just shoot him, and then you can proceed on over toward the right side. If you get all the way toward the end of this area, there's going to be a crawl space right inside this grassy area. Look closely, you'll be able to see it, and then crawl down inside. Now that we're in this ductwork, go over toward the left side. You can proceed to the end of this area for the Oyama face paint. Now turn around and we're going to crawl all the way to the other side. Keep going past the entrance to this area all the way to the end, and then turn toward the left. Keep going down this pathway until you get out into an open courtyard. Once you're outside of the crawl space, stand up and proceed straight ahead through the door. Go toward the right side. On top of the lockers, there's a Keratin Frog. Shoot him and then turn around and go down the stairs. If you roll down the stairs, you go a little bit faster. Keep going down the stairs and then all the way to the end of the hallway through these gates. On the right side, there's going to be a guard patrolling. Shoot him, and then be careful because there's another one of those spiders on the ground who will poison you if you get too close to it. So I'm just going to shoot him for safety, and then proceed all the way to the end of the hallway. And in the last cell on the right-hand side, there's going to be a Keratin Frog. So shoot him, and then we're going to just go back out the way that we came. When you go up the stairs, stick to the right side and go up another set of stairs. And then turn toward the right. There's going to be a guard here. Shoot him and then go past him over toward the right side. Go to the second door. It's the door on the end, and go inside. On the far stall, if you try to open it, it's locked, but do a punch-punch kick combo, then another one, and then a single punch, then run away. The door will fall down, and we can go inside here and get the fly uniform. Now we can go out of here, and if you run over to the edge of this railing, you can then jump down here, and you're able to just proceed straight ahead over toward the left side and go down the stairs. Now it's a good idea to save it right about here because it can be kind of tricky going through this area without being alerted. But we want to eliminate this guard right here. You can shoot him through the glass, and then we're able to go around. We want to go inside his little room here, and then just past the guard is going to be the SIG gas spray. Turn around, go back through the door, and then go into the next door. You want to do this quietly because there's a scientist in here. Go ahead and shoot him as he's walking along here. If you go toward the left side, there's a Keratin waiting for you against the left wall. And then you want to go and open up the locker on the left side against the wall. This locker has the knockout handkerchief that we need to pick up. So once you have that, then slowly go through the next door. There's a couple guards in here that we don't want them to be alerted to our presence. So what you want to do is go over toward the far right side, and you can shoot this guard while he's in his chair. The next guard's going to kind of freak out, but run around to the left side, and you can look at this wall and then get on your tiptoes to shoot him over the partition. Now go all the way to the end and over toward the left side. And you're going to have some cutscenes here with Granin. Just go ahead and skip through all of this stuff so we can continue on. Now we have to do everything we just did, but in reverse. So let's walk slowly toward this door. We'll open it up cautiously, and then we're going to shoot the guard here. Now we'll go over toward the left side, kind of right by where the scientist is, and then we're going to peek up over top of this partition. We can shoot the guard over here. Once that's done, we're going to continue on toward the end and then through this door. Again, go slowly and quietly. Take out the scientist straight ahead of us and then go over toward the left side here. We'll go quietly through this door, and I got very lucky here, admittedly, that this guy did not see me. I was able to hold him up, and then I was able to shoot him without getting an alert. Very lucky for me there. And then we're just going to proceed on. That is why I said that you want to save it before going down here, because these guys can see you very easily as you go through it. You can use the scientist disguise as well to make this a little bit easier, but I just wanted to keep my camo on. When you're at the top of the stairs here, go ahead, shoot this guard, and then proceed on. You'll go through the door straight ahead of us, and then go over toward the left side. There's going to be another guard here. Let's shoot him, and then run past him. We're going to just go kind of diagonally forward and to the left. There's another hallway here taking us to this red door. We'll go out it, and then we're going to be in the inside walls area. So let's just go over toward the right side. We can run right around these trucks here. There's going to be a guard walking that way. We don't have to worry about him. We'll take out this guard, and then we're going to go back through the crawl space in the grassy area. Now that we're back outside, let's just stand up and then start running toward our left. We're going to crawl under this electrified fence. Make sure you go all the way under the fence, because if you stand up too early, you'll hit the fence and do some damage to yourself and make a very loud noise. As you run back parallel to the fence, make sure you stay over toward the right side. That way the guard and the dog on the other side of the fence won't see you. Turn right at the opening, and we're going to go down this passageway back into Graniki Gorky South, where we have a boss fight against the Fear. So make sure you save it when it starts, because we're going to do a trick. Start by turning left and then go over here between this rock and the log. Now use your fake death pill to fall down onto the ground. The Fear is going to come and examine as long as you
either toward the right side or the back.
area. You'll be able to
come
through it without
front,
being seen. Ideally, because if he comes to the back, he'll probably not be in the right position for this. He's going to walk forward and then think that we're already dead. Then he's going to turn around. As soon as he turns around, then go into your items and use the revival pill to stand back up. Now grab a stun grenade and toss it in front of him, either at his feet or just generally in front of him, and then go left and trigger the trap. The game thinks that he's stunned and taking stamina damage, so any physical damage that he's taken will do stamina damage to him. And we get the trophy called If It Bleeds, We Can Kill It. After that's done, we are poisoned and we're hurt a little bit, so we're going to open up the survival viewer and we're going to go down to the cure menu. We can use our medicine, the serum, and we're also able to remove that crossbow bolt from our leg and then just bandage ourselves up and use a little bit of disinfectant and stuff to completely cure ourselves. After that, run forward. We're going to grab the spider uniform. That's a really nice boss camouflage that gives us very high camo, but it also drains our stamina quickly. The game wants you to keep going this way into the warehouse. However, we're going to do something very special. What we're going to do is stay in this bottom area, and we're going to use the mouse traps that we've collected. So go into your backpack to the weapons, and toward the bottom of the list, right around where the food is kept, you're able to grab the mouse trap. So go ahead, put that on, and then we're going to just lay the 3 mouse traps that we've collected in this bottom area. Once they're all placed here, we're going to hop up this ledge and go into the warehouse very briefly. After you get inside, turn around and go straight back out. You'll probably hear the mouse traps trigger, and then go down and inspect them to see what we caught. The results are random. In this one I got the frog C, but we don't need that. The food cages are full, so I'm just going to use up the food that's in here to free up the cage space. You do not want to eat the poison dart frog because you'll be poisoned if you do that, so just dispose of him, but you can eat other things if you want to. So here we grab the Tsuchinoko, and we get the Believe It or Not trophy for catching him. This is a very special animal that only appears right around here, so make sure that you don't do anything with it. You cannot dispose of him, you cannot eat him, you can't do anything with him. You need to finish the game with him in your inventory alive. So we're just going to look at the food menu, and you'll see what he looks like. This weird snake-looking thing. It's actually based in Japanese mythology, so make sure you keep him alive, don't do anything with him. Now that we're back in the warehouse, run forward and roll over the fence here, and now we're going to go down the stairs, and we can go into the left side food storehouse, and we can grab mouse traps and some noodles and things. Now run over here and you'll see 2 guards that are walking past each other. We want them to go past each other and go a few feet past where they are, and then what we're going to do is take a running start and roll over that fence. When done correctly, the guards won't see you and you can just go up the stairs. We want to go through the open door, the further one from where we start, because we're going to do a little backtracking to go get a very special face paint. So we're back in the exterior of the warehouse. If you run forward, there's going to be 1 guard on our right side. We can shoot him, and then another guard kind of straight ahead from where we ran out. Once they're eliminated, we can just continue on, and we're going to go back in the water, and we're going to swim out and into the main river area. So just keep going kind of straight ahead, and you'll be back out into the river in no time. If you have the brown face paint equipped, you can do this whole swim in one go, otherwise you'll have to stop for breath along the way. But we're just going to swim all the way down until we get right by where we came out of after we fought the pain. So it is quite a long swim down this river. Make sure you stop and take a breath if you need to, or put on that brown face paint like I said, and you can just swim the whole way because you'll have unlimited oxygen as you go along. As you get close to the end, you'll see the item box swimming around. This is the water face paint. It only spawns right here, and you have to go kind of out of your way to get it. So that's one of the trickier ones to get. And now all we have to do is just swim back the way that we came, and we're going to go back to that warehouse. So back to the warehouse exterior, we're just going to proceed along and go back inside the warehouse itself. These guards are still sleeping, so we don't need to worry about them. We'll just swim forward until we get to the dock, and then pop up, and then crawl onto the dock, and go back into the warehouse interior area. The door that we need to go into is very near to this entrance, so after we go up the stairs, just go around the corner and through this red door. After that, just follow the hallway around, go up the stairs, and you'll be out into the next area in no time. As you move through this area, you're going to get a call from Eva, so we have to accept that. So we'll just skip through that and then we'll keep going. From here, go up a few steps, then turn around, and if you look up at the top of the wall, there's going to be a Keratin frog. So shoot him, and now we're going to proceed a little bit further ahead. There's the tree right next to us. If you look down at the bottom, there's a plant that we can shoot. Go ahead and grab that. That's mushroom F. And now proceed on. There's a climbing tree to our right, and just to the left of that, there's going to be another tree with some mushrooms at the base. Go ahead, shoot that, and we can grab mushroom G from this area. Now, if you look up along the path, there's going to be these cucumber-looking things hanging down from a vine. Go ahead, grab that. That's our vegetable, and then continue up the path. When you get to the top, you'll be able to hug the left side wall and then go into Svetogorny West. From here, you're going to go forward a little bit and then go over toward the left side. There's a fallen down tree over here. We're going around the left side of it, and then there's a tree kind of straight ahead of us. At the base of it is another mushroom that we need to get. So shoot it, grab it. That's mushroom B, and we get the Fungus Among Us trophy. Now you can see a climbing tree straight ahead of us. What we want to do is go around in front of that tree and then look over on the left side. There's going to be a Keratin frog right here. Shoot him. Be careful of the pitfall trap just to your right. Don't fall in that, but run around it, and then we're going to proceed straight ahead along this path going between the trees here. We're going to just go straight down this path until we get to some more grass, then hang a right and keep going around here. And when we get to this area, we'll just keep hugging that right wall, and we're going to go out the rightmost exit when we get out here. This takes us to Svetogorny East. As we run forward, there's going to be a cabin in the back, and there's some guards patrolling around in here. There's a little bit that we need to do in this area. It's kind of off the beaten path from the rest of the game, so we do need to make a special trip here just for some things. As we run forward, there's the cabin that I talked about. There's going to be 3 guards in this area that we want to shoot. There's one patrolling in the front porch. There's one over on the right side through the window. You can take a good shot at him. And then over on the left side, walking outside the cabin. There's a Keratin frog in the windows on the left side of the cabin, so you can shoot it either there or run a little bit closer and then shoot it. You want to go inside the cabin and then go to the back room. From here, you're going to climb over the boxes on the left side of the room, and when you get back here, you're going to pick up the M63. That's an American light machine gun. Now we have a new weapon to add to our arsenal that we'll never be using throughout this run. But now we can just leave the cabin, and we got the Keratin frog and the weapon, and we didn't get seen or kill anyone in this area, so that's all good. We're going to now just backtrack the way we came all the way to the exit of this area, and we'll be back in that last area that we were in. So back in Svetogorny West, we're going to now hug the right wall, and that's going to take us into the next area that we have to go to. You might want to save it around this area, just because if you go into the next area where the end is waiting for you, you don't want to save it in Sokovruno West after the boss fight starts, because it can have dangerous consequences for you. So save it outside of this area. Once you come in, you're going to want to do a few things. And number 1, you want to capture a bird alive right here. So here's a bird just to our right as we enter. That's going to be the End's parrot. He's not going to be very happy, I think, that we caught him. So that's bird A. where you can look at him right here. There's the parrot. Now, if you do want to release him, he will fly to where the end is, and that's kind of cool. But we're going to find him anyway. He's always in the same spot to begin with. Make sure you have the SIG gas spray equipped from your inventory. And now we're going to run kind of straight ahead from where we were. And we're going to go around this area. There's going to be a warehouse straight ahead of us. You want to not go in there. We don't really need anything there, but we just want to go past it. As you're going past it, if you turn and look, there's going to be a Keratan frog on the ledge behind that warehouse. So shoot that before proceeding kind of straight ahead from where you were going before. And we're going to go out of the exit down this path. Now in Sacramento North, we're going to run down the path and stick toward the right side to begin with. There's going to be a Keratan frog over on the right side, so you can see it right nestled in behind the rock wall and the tree. So shoot that and then turn left and go along the left-hand side. You'll keep that wall right on your side and just hug that left wall as you go around. That will take you looping around into the next area. If you want to go a little bit faster over the ground here that's sloped upward, you can just roll. Keep going straight and you're going to go into the next area. So we're back into Sacramento South. The end is very nearby, so don't go forward. You can either creep slowly by holding down the directional button, not the analog stick, the actual directional button, and you will go into the stalking mode. We want to walk forward slowly to get to where the end is. You can also hold a grenade and cook that grenade by holding down the weapon button. That allows you to run without having any noise, and you can get right up behind him. So we're going to get right next to him, and then what we want to do is hold him up. He's going to then go down onto his tummy. Just keep the gun pointed right at his head. He's going to say, "I don't think so." Then he'll say that again, and then he's going to give us his camouflage. So you have to hold him up like this, and if you do that correctly, you'll also get a trophy. This one's called You Snooze, You Lose. Now what you want to do is use your SIG gas spray, and you can spray him to do a little bit of stamina damage to him. Make sure you grab his uniform. That's the Moss uniform. It's very good. And then you want to follow him out back into Sacramento West. He should run this way every time. So from here, what we want to do is to use our thermal goggles. You'll be able to track where he went by seeing his footsteps in the mud. So you can see he's right ahead of us here. We're going to stalk up next to him, and we want to get right behind him before we attack him with our SIG gas spray. That moss camo we just got from him allows us to regain stamina if we're in sunlight. So we'll creep up on him nice and slow. And then when we get close, we'll use that SIG gas spray on him. Now grab a stun grenade, and what you want to do is to throw it directly at his body. You want to hit him with the grenade. Then grab your SIG gas spray and look up into the sky so you're not affected by that stun grenade. Spray him again, and you can kind of keep repeating this a little bit by hitting him with that stun grenade. And we're just going to now look away from him again, and we're going to then try to follow him as close as we can out into the next area. So we'll proceed along the path using those thermal goggles so that we can see where he's going. In this area, he does have a little bit of an advantage. He can see us as we're running through here. So make sure that if he says good night or something like that, you want to roll around so that he doesn't hit you. We'll just proceed along the path following his footsteps here. He's almost defeated. We still got that SIG gas spray equipped. So sometimes what he'll do is run straight toward you, and you want to just kind of cut him off and spray him. That should pretty much end the fight from there. So we did get hit by that. If you do get hit by one of his darts, you will keep draining your stamina. So go into the cure menu and then use the knife to dig out that tranquilizer dart, and that will prevent you from continuously losing stamina. We're just going to follow the footsteps around here. We can see his footprints in the mud. He came around the corner, so I'm just going to spray him down. You can also punch him. You can roll into him to knock him down. A couple different options. This is not a difficult fight. It's only a matter of following him very closely and not letting him get away. So once the boss fight is over, what we're going to do is hop down this ledge. We need to go into another area to get another Keratan frog. So you want to turn toward the left side when you get done with that fight, and then just run straight ahead. You can go through this little canyon into Sacramento West. From here, proceed on, and we're going to go down to the water. There's a river running through this area. We want to actually go into the water and then follow the stream downstream. So here's the water. We'll turn left, and we're just going to follow this river all the way to the bottom. Once we get to the very end of it, you'll see that there's a Kertan frog at the end, so grab a gun and then just shoot the frog at the end. Now run forward, there's going to be this green mossy looking area. What we want to do is to stand right in this area. Make sure you do not have the easy gun equipped. You have to unequip that. Now go into the survival viewer, into the camouflage. We're going to change our face paint to the woodland face paint, and then we're going to equip that new moss uniform that we got from the end for holding him up. Once you go out of this menu, you'll want to lay down in this area, and you'll get a new trophy called A Good Man is Hard to Find, because we have 100% camo index. This is a really good place to get that trophy. Once you earn that trophy, just go back along the river. We're going to go back to the same area that we just came from. Stick to the right side, go around the first waterfall, and then continue along the path. You don't need to be in the water at this point. Just run alongside the water until you get out the right side exit. At this point, I'm just going to put my normal Tiger Stripe ammo back on. I just do that, I guess, for consistency's sake. We've been doing that pretty much the whole run here. So no face paint and Tiger Stripe. Doesn't really matter as long as you have that easy gun equipped. You'll have that 80% camo index the whole game anyway. So back out of this exit, we're back into Socorveno North. What you want to do is to run straight forward. There's going to be a tree here with multiple stalks coming up. Turn toward the left, kind of arc around that tree, and you'll be able to grab the Maz Nagant. That is a tranquilizing sniper rifle. It's what the End was using against us. Keep going up the path straight ahead, and when we get to the top, you'll see a Markhor here. We don't need to kill him for anything, but turn toward the right and then proceed down the path. Stick toward that left side wall, and you'll be able to go around it, and you get to go straight into a new area. Here's the Krasnogorje Tunnel. When you enter this area, there's going to be lights on the left-hand side. So here's the first light, and here's the second light. After that second light, turn around toward the left, and there's going to be a Kertan frog on the ground behind the wall. Now keep going down that tunnel, get to the ladder, and then start climbing up the ladder, and enjoy the tunes on the way up. I'll post the lyrics here in case you're interested, and this is part of the song Snake Eater, the main theme of Metal Gear Solid 3, performed by Cynthia Harrell. Congratulations on beating the hidden member of the Cobra unit, the Exhaustion. And with that, let's head on outside. We get to the Krasnogorje mountain base. Let's go forward, and then over toward the left side, there's going to be a point of no return cliff here. Once we go over this, we can never go back to the other areas. I'm pretty full on food right now, and there's some more things that we need to get animal-wise, so let's get rid of some of the stuff that we don't need anymore. We definitely want to keep that Tsukinoko, though. Do not get rid of that thing. Now let's just run forward, and we're going to look over on the right side. There's going to be a snake right around the corner. Let's go ahead and shoot this guy. Then we'll go over and collect him. This is going to be Snake C. Continue straight forward. There's going to be some guards roaming in this area in front of us. Let's take them out. There's one straight ahead of us, and then some more over on the left side. If we run past this guard to the top of the hill, we can look down and we can see the guard waiting over on that side. Let's shoot him. And then what we want to do is look down on the ground. There's going to be a scorpion. Let's shoot him, and then we can collect him as well. That's our scorpion. We'll proceed over here toward the left side. There's going to be some large vultures walking around here. Shoot one of those, and then we can go over and grab that one. This is going to be bird B, and we also get the trophy called a bird in the hand. Now let's keep running along here. There's going to be another guard up ahead. Let's just get close to him and then shoot him so that he's out of the way. Keep going forward, but don't go out of the area yet. Go over toward where the rock wall isn't straight ahead of us, and you can look at the top of that rock wall, and there's a Kertan frog up there. So shoot him and then proceed through the tunnel into the next area, which is going to be the Krasnogorje mountainside. Let's run forward. There's going to be a lot of winding paths all the way up to the top. There's going to be a couple guards on the way too, so we'll be sure to take those out as we go along. So there's one guard at the top of this path. Keep going up here. If you want to make this a little bit faster, equip your cardboard box, because that enables you to run full speed up any slopes. Otherwise, you can just roll forward if you want to. We don't have to deal with any guards for a little bit, so just keep running down the path until you get further up the mountain. Now hug the left side wall as you go around. There's going to be a guard right here, so we can get close to him and then just shoot him anywhere to knock him out. Continue along the path, going along these winding trails all the way to the top here. Once you get here, you can look over. There's going to be a guard patrolling at the middle, so shoot him and then go over looking on the right side. There's going to be a Kertan frog right at the top of the house up above us. So now we're going to go up here, and we're going to go down into the little hut, the little building right here. So go inside and grab the RPG-7 portable rocket launcher. Once you have that, then you can hop back up, and we're going to go up toward this building here. You can also shoot the Kertan frog closer if you wanted to. Be careful, because there's a guard around here. Just sneak around him, and you can shoot him and then proceed through the little passageway that he was guarding. This is the Krasnogorje mountain top. What you want to do is just start running straight forward from here. There's going to be a path leading up to this anti-aircraft gun and the little hut right there. Go up to this area next to the anti-aircraft gun, and there's going to be the Kertan frog straight across the crevice from you. Now run over and drop down into this trench. We're going to run along the trench and stick toward the left side here. There's going to be a couple guards that you can take out, so go ahead, shoot them, and then continue along the trench. Go toward the right side, and then keep going down the trench until you get to the end of this road. Then go over toward the right side. Just keep hugging that right side as you go along, and that will take you up toward where this guard is. He's really not going to see us, so don't worry about that. Keep following that trench along the way, and then you can get up to the top. When you get up there, just go through the big red door. Now we're at the Krasnogorje mountaintop ruins. We get a bunch of cutscenes and stuff. You can skip a few of these, but you want to stop when you get to the point where you see Snake and Eva standing at the top. So we can skip these ones, and now when you see the motorcycle, stop skipping the cutscenes. We're going to watch them because what we want to do is to hold down R1, that's the first person view button, at a certain point in this cutscene, because there are a few different times when you can see things from a certain point of view that you normally aren't prompted to see. And if you can do all of them through the cutscenes in the game, then you will get a new trophy called Snake Eyes. So we get that right at the end of the game by watching all of them, and we're going to start right at this area. So you'll see Eva drive off the mountain with her motorcycle, and we're just going to keep watching the cutscene, and eventually it will transition to Snake looking out over Groznygrad. Now, what we want to do is to just keep watching this cutscene, and at a certain point, I'll prompt you to hold down that R1 button. I'll make it very obvious for you, and I'll explain exactly what that looks like. So this cutscene shows Volgan. He's going to be beating up a big drum that happens to have granite inside of it, and we're going to watch that scene play out until I prompt you to push down that first-person view button. It's a long cutscene, so I'm going to speed it up considerably so that we can get to the point that matters, and that's when the boss comes in. You really want to focus on that section. Okay, so the boss is here now. We're going to pay attention to this area in particular. She's going to get up on her horse, and eventually she's going to say, "I'm going to get the Davy Crockett." When she says that, then you want to start holding down that R1 button or whatever first-person view button you're using, and that will allow us to see a hidden scene of her riding off.
I'm going to get the Davy Crockett.
Alright, good job with that one. We're going to get another one as well. I'm not sure if this one counts, however, it is kind of interesting nonetheless, so I'll point it out to you anyway. Better safe than sorry with this one, though. So what you want to do is wait until Ocelot tells Tanya to polish up her boots. When you hear that, then start holding that R1 button or the right bumper, and you're going to watch a separate scene where she's going to kind of mock Ocelot's hand gesture as he walks away. Alright, good job with that one. After that, then the cutscene will be over pretty quickly, and we're going to be back in control of Snake. From here, grab your SVD sniper rifle, and what you want to do is to look straight ahead and then down over toward the bottom right side. There's going to be this communications tower thing. Right above the lettering, there's going to be a Keratan frog. So shoot that one along that big tower, and then we can turn around and go back inside the red door. Proceed down the steps right in front of you, and then there's going to be another Keratan frog very close by. So go down the stairs, and then over on the right side, if you look there, there's going to be a frog up in the corner. Shoot that Keratan frog, and then you can proceed out the red door. This section's pretty simple. Just run straight forward, and what you're going to do is to keep going down until you can hop up onto this ledge, hop up, and then run to the left side of this anti-aircraft gun. You can slide down and hop down these ledges. There's going to be a door right on this side, so go in the red door, and now we can proceed into the Groznygrad underground tunnel. From here, just start running down the steps, and you can either run or roll just to get to the bottom quickly. When you get to the bottom of the steps, don't run too far forward. Instead, go to the middle of the hallway, grab your SVD sniper rifle, and aim it straight ahead. There's going to be a Keratan frog on top of one of the pipes over here, so shoot him, and once you have him croaking at you, then you can put away your SVD sniper rifle and run straight to the end. Once you get here, turn left, follow the path around, and then over toward the right when you get to the wall. Instead of going down the ladder, you can just roll over the edge to save a little bit of time. And now we have a cutscene and the boss fight against the Fury. I'll show you how I like to fight him. Start by equipping the easy gun, then turn around and run down this leftmost hallway to the end. The Fury usually lands right around the right side of us when we come around here, so get a good shot lined up. You want to shoot him 3 times in a row in quick succession to knock him down. Now we're going to run over here and wait right behind this pillar. If we press against it, he's not going to be able to hurt us at all, and then he'll shoot across to the other side, so now we'll go down to the end, turn left, hit him 3 more times, and run back to our safe spot. He'll zoom across again, and then we're going to go over and look at him while he's on the right side now. So get a good view of him, shoot him 3 times, knock him down, and then we're going to go hide once again. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it easy for us. He's not going to stay there. He's going to go to another end of the map. So you can use either the thermal goggles to see him pretty clearly, but all this fire makes it a little bit hard as the fight goes on. Night vision goggles work too. Otherwise, you can just kind of look down there and see him amongst the flames. So keep shooting him whenever you get a good opportunity to. If he hits you with the flamethrower, it'll do some damage and light you on fire. Grab your cardboard box in that case, and you can immediately put it on and extinguish the flames. You can also use that box to just run through the fire that's on the ground without taking any damage. So we're just going to keep up on him, just shoot him over and over again, and when he goes down, we'll get the Houston We Had a Problem trophy. After the Fury goes down, immediately look toward the left side. There's going to be a camo hidden in the smoke. It is the uniform fire. So let's grab that, and then we'll just proceed over toward the ladder. And we want to go up this ladder. That new fire camo prevents us from being lit on fire, so it's kind of situational, but kind of cool too. Alright, after we go up the ladder, we get a little cutscene, so go ahead and skip that whenever you're ready, and we're going to find ourselves inside the Great Fortress of Groznygrad. Start by running over to the side. There's this red staircase that goes up. Just go up there and then just keep running in that same direction. There's going to be guards straight ahead of us, so take him out and then keep going over toward the side where these big warehouses are. There's going to be 3 warehouses in a row. Go to the one in the middle with the number 67 on it. If you look right between the crack here, you're able to see a Keratan frog, so shoot him and then turn toward the right and run toward the end of this hallway. When you get here, turn toward the left. There's going to be a red door over here. Go through that red door. This takes us into Groznygrad Northwest. From here, start by running forward, and then you want to go in between these tanks. You can run all the way to the end, make sure you take out the guard on the way there, and at the end there's going to be some boxes stacked up against the wall. To get the clearest shot at the Keratan frog in this area, climb up on top of the boxes here and then look over toward the side of the building. There's going to be a staircase, and at the top of the stairs is where the frog is, just on the other side of that fence. We're done with this area, so we want to get down off the boxes and then run along the front of the tanks here. You want to avoid going into the spotlight so we don't get alerted by anything, and then go behind this truck against the left wall, and you can go into the red door that takes us into Groznygrad Northeast. Then go toward the right side and run along the wall. You don't want to go in the door here, however. You want to run toward the end of this hallway, and there's going to be a crawl space, a little hole in the wall at the bottom. So go ahead, get down, and then crawl through the hole to go into Groznygrad Southeast. From here, you want to stand up and then turn toward the left. There's going to be a guard walking around here, so go ahead, take that guard out, and then we want to go up onto the red stairs right next to him. We're going to climb all the way up to get to the top of this roof area. There's going to be a Keratan frog in the far corner. You can barely see it over there, but go ahead, shoot him, and then you want to head back down toward the stairs, and if you hop down off the roof, then go over toward the side of the building, and you can loop around and go into this red door. That takes you into the Groznygrad torture room. Run forward and then go over toward the left side. Be careful because there's a guard in this room, so slowly open up the door when you see him walk through the little window there, and then you can open up the door and shoot him. The Keratan frog is right under the desk in this room. Now turn around and go back the way we came. We're going to go out the door again. From here, we're going to go around the wall and then continue on past the red stairs, and there's going to be a door straight ahead of us, so go through that door. Now what you want to do is go over toward the right side. There's going to be a guard over here. You don't want to take him out just yet where that spotlight could see him. So we'll run over toward the fence here and wait till he walks just a few steps. That way he won't be in the spotlight when we take him out. And then keep going over toward this area. There's going to be a hole in the ground. So look toward the spotlight and then get down and start crawling through this crawl space. This is going to be a very long crawl. You want to go all the way down to the end and then turn toward the left. Now keep going until you can see a hole on the right hand side. It's another passageway on the right. It's about halfway down from where we have to be. And when you see that, then you want to turn over toward the right side because that's where the Keratin frog is going to be. So you can see it coming to view now. We'll just keep going forward and then look over toward the right side. You'll see the Keratin frog behind the bars here. It almost looks like he's in jail. Go ahead, shoot him, and now we're going to keep going the same direction that we were going all the way to the end of this area, and we're going to go into a new zone from inside this tunnel. So now we're back into Grasningrad Southeast. Keep going until you get to the end, and then turn toward the left. Now keep going, and eventually we'll be able to get out of this area and pop up and jump out of here. But just keep going until we get to that point. So right here, the ceiling opens up. We're able to then stand up and hop out of here. And what we want to do is head over toward this red door on our right side. Let's go through that door, and now we're back into Grasningrad Northeast. Our destination is just ahead a little bit toward the left and kind of diagonally from where we started here. So we're just going to run over toward this area and go in the red door. This takes us into the Grasningrad Weapons Lab East Wing. Start by running straight ahead and then go up the stairs. When you get to the top, turn around and go around the hallway. There's going to be a guard just around the corner, so quickly get your gun out and shoot him. Now put your gun away, and we're going to drag him by holding down the weapon button while unarmed, and we're going to drag him over behind this corner so that he's not seen by the next guy to come out of this door. We're going to stand over here with our easy gun equipped and just wait until the next guy comes out of here. This is going to be Rykov. It's the target that we need to get. So go ahead, shoot him, and then we're going to put that gun away and drag him just like that last guard, but we're going to drag him the opposite direction. So come back toward the screen, and when you can see a hallway on the right side, we want to drag him down that hallway. He has security clearance to get into this room. We normally wouldn't be able to get into here without him, but because we're dragging him, we can go in here. And now we can go over to the back part here where there's going to be some lockers. We get a little cutscene, and then we're going to shove him into a locker. He's taking a snooze back here. We need to now run over toward the far side of this room, past all the partitions and the walls, and there's going to be a Keratin frog at the top of the bookcase on the far side of the room. So shoot him, and now what we want to do is to disguise ourselves like Rykov. So we're going to put on the mask inside of the face paint menu, and then we're going to go into the uniforms, and we're going to put on the officer uniform. Now we look just like him, and we can do basically whatever we want to in this area. So we're going to go out the door on the side and then just roll off of here. You can go through this back hallway and get to the far side of the area. We'll be able to go into the door on the right, and you can go and grab the scorpion just to the right of the doorway. That's a new weapon for us. If you want to, you can go into the other room too, and you can pick up a mousetrap from on top of here. Not necessary, but you can grab it if you really want to. So from here, we're going to now go out basically the way that we came in. We're going to go up the stairs here, and we're going to get back to the room with all of those lockers where we shoved Rykov's body. So So once we're back in the room, this is where the Keratan frog was. We're going to go to the opposite corner and then just run down the hallway here, and the door that we need to get in is on the right hand side. So we'll go through here to get into the Groznygrad Weapons Lab main wing. We'll then run around the hallway. We don't have to do anything here except for run down the hallway to the opposite end, and we'll be able to go through the doors. Now, this part is a little bit tricky because we have to get a Keratan frog, but there are two guards right here looking at us. Let's go into our backpack, into the weapons tab, and what we're going to do is to put away the M37 and grab the Mosin-Nagant. Now from here, we're going to go into the camouflage, and we're going to switch our uniform, the officer's uniform, to the spider camo. That's what we got from defeating the Fear non-lethally. So we have a permanent 80% camo index, but we're draining our stamina fast. Grab the Mosin-Nagant, look toward the left windows, and you can shoot the Keratan frog at the top of the light post just outside of the left window. When that's done, go ahead and put that uniform, the officer's uniform, back on, and now the guards won't be too suspicious of us. And we can run down the hallway. We are in a caution state, but not an alert, so this doesn't really matter for our no alert playthrough. Just give it a minute, the guards are going to reset their position, and we can walk forward, and we're able to get through this area no problem. Once you go through here, then you're going to have a series of cutscenes. Go ahead and skip through some of these, but we want to wait when we get to the part where Snake is being tortured by Volgin. So there's a save point here. We can save it or not save it. It doesn't really matter for us, so do whatever you want to do. And then after that, we're going to be inside the cutscene. So when you see that you're in the torture room, don't skip anything. We're just going to go fast through here because we're going to have our body inspected, and then we're going to be tortured. So what you want to do is just kind of go through this. It takes a while, so that's why I'm speeding it all up. But you don't want to skip it because we have another one of those hidden first-person view moments for the Snake Eyes trophy. So what you want to do is get to the point where Volgin has left the room, and then we're going to start paying attention to that. So Ocelot is going around here, and he's going to come up and he's going to punch us in the back. What he actually did there is he put a transmitter in our back that we need to remove a little bit later on. Otherwise, the game gets much more difficult for us. After a little bit more dialogue, then Ocelot is going to say, "You got lucky this time, Tatiana." At that point, you want to hold down that R1 button or the right bumper, whatever you're using for that first-person view button, and that is going to give us the hidden cutscene here. So it's coming up in just a moment. He's going to start walking toward the door, reach down, pick up his revolver, now start holding down that R1 button or right bumper. He'll say, "You got lucky this time, Tatiana," and then if you're holding down the button, what you'll see is the hidden scene of the boss mimicking his little hand gesture here. So that's the hidden scene that you want to see. Once that scene is complete, you can skip the rest of this cutscene, but I'm going to show you a little something special here. The boss will take out the revolver, and she's going to shoot you in the leg. That actually is a fake death pill that she will give you, and then she's going to also give us that single-action army weapon. If you hold down R1, you're able to see the Sorrow behind her, and he has the 144.75 displayed on a little board. That is the number that we can call on the radio to unlock our torture cell. But before we bust our way out of here, we're going to get a couple more trophies in this room. So go over, grab the fork on the ground, and that gives us the With All Guns Blazing trophy because we've collected all the weapons. So that's pretty cool for us. Now what we can do is to go over, we're going to grab this little bit of food here. It's a bat. We aren't going to eat it though. Instead, what we're going to do is go into the cure menu, use the fork to dig out the fake death pill as well as the transmitter. So that's what we want to do to make things a little bit easier. Now we can go over and grab that fake death pill that the boss put into our leg. Now what we want to do is, because we're low on stamina, we're going to call the other healing radio frequencies, and we're going to call all of them. I did it off screen just to show you what they are, so go ahead and call all of these. It's 147.08, then 140.52, 142.94, 144.06, 147.59, 140.01, 141.24, and the final one that we have to call is 149.53. Once you call all of the healing radio frequencies, you also get a new trophy called Tune in Tokyo. The list of actual frequencies you need to call in order to get all of the healing radios is different depending on the difficulty of the game that you selected. So when you choose the very easy difficulty, this is the list that you need. If you chose another difficulty, you'll have to get different ones to call. So once that's done, we just need to break out of our cell, but we don't want to do it just yet because we need to get out of here without being seen. So the guard's going to walk away from us, then he's going to walk back down this hallway, and then he's going to turn and walk away from our camera toward the exit. But we don't want to move too hastily in this point, we just need to be a little bit patient. He's going to turn left and walk down the hallway. Don't do anything yet though. We need to wait until he turns around and then walks back. He's going to go into that guard room on the end here, kind of down the hall into the right from where we are. That's that same room where the Keratin frog was. We want to see him start to go into that doorway, and then we're going to open up our radio and we're going to call the frequency that the Sorrow gave us. And if you'll remember, it is frequency 144.75. So go ahead and give that one a call and you'll see that the door has been unlocked. So our cell door slides open. We're now just going to run straight ahead, then go to the left and turn right to go out this door. Without any of our camo or anything, we kind of stick out like a sore thumb, but all you have to do is run around the corner and then run straight down to the end. You can go through the red door. Once you're in Groznygrad Northeast, turn toward the left and then run straight down this area. What you want to do is hop into the back of this truck. There's going to be an ammo box here for some grenades. Make sure you pick those up because it makes something a little easier later on. Then go toward the left-hand side. There's going to be this wall here. Just run along the warehouse wall and then keep going down, avoiding the spotlight and the guard till you get to the end of this area. Then turn left and go through the door here. Now what you want to do is go over toward the right side. Make sure you stay away from that spotlight, so just run right in front of these tanks here. And you want to keep going down until you get past them. On the left-hand side, that's where we had to climb up on the boxes to shoot the Keratin frog on the other side of the fence. But keep running down this way and then turn toward the right. Go around the dark gray squares on the ground because they will make a lot of noise when you walk on there and can potentially wake up that dog. Then go around these red pipes and you can crawl down and go over to the next area. The game will automatically make you stand up and run around and quickly go down into the sewers. Kind of weird how fast that animation plays out. It's kind of unnatural looking. When you get down to the bottom here, you're going to get a mandatory radio call. Go ahead, skip through that, and then you want to turn toward your left side and go over and start heading down the stairs. You'll want to go all the way down to the very bottom of the stairs here, so either run down them or you can roll to get to the bottom. So from here, you want to start heading down this tunnel. Just hop down into the middle and then run over till you get toward the far end. You want to go kind of as far as you can go and then stick toward the left-hand side. You'll be able to climb up here and then crawl underneath this hole in the wall. Once you get through it, then go over toward the right side. You can stand up and run around toward the right. Then you can crawl down through the next hole. Once you're through it, stand up, hop down, go across the little walkway here, and then go up the stairs and keep going down past the first crawl space, past the stairs, and go into the second crawl space on the right-hand side. Now we're going to go through here, and once we can stand up, we're going to do that, and then go over toward the left, going into the next crawl space. So get down, crawl through here, and we're pretty much done with this area. All we have to do is to stand up, hop down, and then go all the way down into the light at the end of the tunnel. Once you've done that, you get some cutscenes, and now we're thrown into a boss fight against the Sorrow. What I like to do to avoid the attacks is just to stick over toward the left side. Now this is a great way to see if you have gotten 0 kills so far. Hopefully you have, because we're trying to get a trophy for that. If you do get any kills, you're going to see enemies coming at you from down this river, and we don't want to see any of that. The only ones we want to see are the bosses that we've defeated so far. So here is the Pain. We just want to stick toward the left side, and hopefully we can avoid him walking across here. Every once in a while, the Sorrow is going to look like he's charging something up, and then he's going to release a big spiral of ethereal energy. We want to avoid that as best as possible. So I like to stay toward the left side so I can quickly go over toward the right side if he's on our left. Otherwise, you can just stay on the left side if he's shooting at you from the right side. Well, here's the Fear. We defeated him, and then we can just get past him pretty easily. Don't worry about getting hit by stuff, though. This is very easy mode. We're able to kind of tank whatever hits are possible. It just takes a little bit more time if we get hit by one of the Sorrow's blasts. But if you get hit by one of the bosses, it doesn't really matter. So there you saw it. He tried to attack me from the left side. I just kind of walked diagonally forward and to the right, and I was able to dodge his attack. Here's the end and his parrot. We didn't kill the parrot, but he's still there anyway. And then we want to just keep walking along the path. Eventually we'll get to the Fury. We'll see him shambling toward us. This guy's kind of hard to dodge, so I do get hit by him one time, but it does almost no damage to us at all. You want to keep going all the way to the end, because if we make it all the way to the far side of this area, we're able to interact with the Sorrow skeleton that's in the water, and that is how we get his camouflage. So that's considered the non-lethal way to beat the Sorrow, and we also need to collect his camo at the end of it. So if you were to use your fake death pill or to drown yourself in the water, you wouldn't get the good reward for this. So we made it to the end. You can see there's his corpse and there's his spirit. We're just going to touch that, and we're instantly going to quote-unquote die, and we're able to then use our inventory to select the revival pill. So don't hit continue, don't hit exit, go into your menu and use the revival pill. That's how you get through that. Now we have a cutscene, and we also get a radio call, so go ahead, skip through all of that, and we also get the River of Pain trophy for defeating the Sorrow. Once you're in control of Snake again, turn around toward the right side. There's going to be a Kertan frog right in this area, so grab a grenade and throw it down right next to him, and make sure you back up a little bit so you don't get injured, but the grenade will set off the Kertan and we can proceed on. We'll go up this little hallway here, just sticking toward the right side the whole way over. And when you get over here, you can then go over this little log bridge all the way to the other side, and then turn toward the right and hop down. Now let's follow the stream up this way. If we didn't remove the transmitter from before, what would have happened is that there was going to be a whole lot of those GRU officers from the Ocelot unit that we'd have to fight through this area. So because we removed the transmitter, we don't have to deal with any of them, making it much easier. Once you get to the end of the stream, then go around the pool on the right side, and you'll go to the behind waterfall area. Bunch of cutscenes here with Eva. You can save it or not, doesn't really matter. And once you get through all of this, then you're able to be back in control of Snake. What we need to do is to go back out into the area we were just at. So go toward the waterfall, and now we can run around this area. Down inside the pool of water here, we need to dive down under, and then there's going to be a new face paint for us called the Kabuki face paint. So go ahead, grab that, and then pop back out of the water. You want to swim over to the side and then crawl out onto land again. When we lost all of our equipment earlier, we also lost the Tsuchinoko that we had captured, and we need to recapture him in order to bring him alive to the end of the game. So go into your backpack, make sure that you have the things that you need, like your easy gun, and we also can see that we picked up the spirit camouflage, and that's something that we got for defeating the Sorrow. I'm going to leave this on because it's my personal favorite camouflage. What it does is it reduces all of your running noise, so you can sneak right up on enemies from behind and they won't see you. On the ground here, that's where the Tsuchinoko is, so shoot it with a tranquilizer and then pick it up. Now we can keep it in our inventory until the end of the game. Now let's run back to the behind waterfall area and we're going to continue on toward the end of the game. You want to run forward from here, just go all the way toward the end of the hallway. There is some medicine and stuff on the way, so grab it if you want to, otherwise we're just going to keep going all the way toward the end. When you get to the end of the hallway, there's a barricade, and on the right side there's going to be cardboard box B, so grab that if you want to, then go in the red door. Before you go up the ladder, turn around and then look up toward the ceiling. There's going to be another Keratin frog on the pipe up here. So shoot him, and now we can start to go up that ladder. This will take us back into Grozny Grad. We have another cutscene, so skip that, and now we're back into Grozny Grad Northwest where the tanks are. We'll equip the easy gun just for that bonus to our camouflage, and now we're going to go into our backpack and we're going to grab the C3 that we have. We'll need that in a little bit. So run down alongside the tanks here, just keep running until you get to the red door on the opposite side of this area where you started. In Grozny Grad Northeast, turn toward the left and then run toward the opposite side here. There's this fence. We'll just run along the fence here. These guards really can't see us because of our high camo index, and they can't hear us because of the spirit camouflage. So we're very stealthy going through this area. We'll just hug this left wall all the way up until we get to that truck, then turn left and go through the door. This takes us back into the weapons lab east wing. Just turn toward the left and we're going to run down to the end of the hallway. We get to run up the stairs here, just go all the way back to the room where the Keratin frog is on top of the bookcase, and we're going to go over toward the locker area on the left-hand side. There are two uniforms we need to get inside the lockers. So the first one is going on the left side. Don't go all the way to the one on the left, go to the one right next to it and you can grab the maintenance uniform. From here, now go to the one across from it that has the red stripe across it, that has the sneaking uniform in it. That's the same locker where we shoved Rykov earlier. Then go through the door nearby into the main wing. You'll automatically get put into a cutscene and you'll also have a radio call, so skip past all of this. Starting off, let's go down to the lower level. You can just roll over the edge and the railing if you want to. We definitely don't want to be seen by anyone around here, so keep your distance from the maintenance workers, and we're going to run up the stairs on the opposite side. There's going to be a guard patrolling kind of right toward us between these boxes, so go ahead, shoot him, and then we're going to continue on straight ahead. There is a maintenance worker over here. Let's just shoot him to get him out of the way, and then we're going to run over toward where his body is, and there's a Keratin frog behind this yellow railing. So hit that, and then you want to grab your C3 and plant it next to the fuel tank right by us. You can roll over this railing and then run right up next to this guy because he can't hear us with that spirit camo on. We'll just hold him up, shoot him, and then go over toward the nearby fuel tank and plant a C3 charge. After you plant your second C3, you get a mandatory call from Eva, so skip through that, and then what we need to do is go over toward the right side of this area. So run around these trucks here, and there's going to be another fuel tank in the opposite corner here. So go ahead, plant a C3 at this point, and then you'll want to turn around and then run up this ramp. Be careful because there's a maintenance worker going through here and he can see you easily, so just shoot him before he becomes a problem. Then continue going up that ramp and plant the final C3 in this area. After that, you get some cutscenes, skip through all of that, and then you're going to get a radio call. We'll skip through that. After some more cutscenes you can skip, you're going to then be prompted to save. Go ahead and do that if you want to. And after you save, there's going to be a variety of cutscenes that come your way. So skip through all of this and you'll be in a boss fight against Volgan. Immediately run forward, grab him, and throw him on the ground. Roll over him to do some extra damage. Now he's going to start charging up, but this gives us a good opportunity to look up toward the left hand and behind us of where we started the fight. There's a Keratan frog up there. So make sure you get him before the boss fight's over. As he's charging up, you can throw a grenade at him just to get him to get out of that animation and speed things up a little bit. He'll use this attack if you're holding a weapon, and then the energy will go towards you like a magnet for that electricity. So that's a good way that you can kind of get him into this loop where he'll try to shoot you with that. You can just run around it, get close to him, throw him on the ground, and roll over him. Kind of missed my opportunity there, but that's okay. If he starts talking to Ocelot, that gives you a good opportunity to go behind him and just shoot him in the head. Now we just have to kind of run around here, making sure he doesn't punch us at all. There's not a lot that we can do while he's electrified, so we're just going to run around and bait out some attacks, waiting for that electricity to fade. If he raises his hand up, run toward the left side of him, and then run over toward the right side. You're able to dodge his bullet attack pretty easily, and then slam him down. In phase 2, what he's going to do is start by throwing up a bunch of bullets into the air and making them go around. Well, you just need to lay down to get around that one. And now we just kind of have to avoid him while he's electrified, otherwise we're going to grab him, slam him, and then roll over him. We'll just continue this until he's gone. So nothing really special here, just keep dodging his attacks, waiting for his electricity to fade, and then grab him, throw him, roll over him, and repeat that until the boss fight's over. There you go. Once he's down, he's going to give you the Cold War uniform. That's a really handy thing for a little bit later on, and it's especially helpful when you get to like extreme difficulty. Volgan is defeated non-lethally, and we also get the trophy called Grounded for defeating Volgan. Here are some more cutscenes that we can skip, and then we're going to be on the back of Eva's motorcycle. Now, I would highly recommend saving in each new area that you come to on the motorcycle. That's because we have to shoot some Keratan frogs, and it's very difficult, and you want to be able to reload it quickly. Equip your SVD sniper rifle, because we're going to have to use it to shoot one of the Keratan frogs very soon. So Eva will soon start to move forward, and she's going to get to the first area and stop. What you want to do is to look over at the top of the guard tower here. There's going to be a Keratan frog on the searchlight. So shoot that thing, and now you can just grab your easy gun or whatever you want to use to tranquilize the enemies and take them all out in this area. When the Shagohod appears, you're going to start moving again on the motorcycle, making it much more difficult to hit that Keratan. So your timing is very precise there. You only get a few seconds to shoot the Keratan frog in this area, and then you have to move on. So what you can do to avoid the enemy shooting at you is to equip the Cold War uniform. As long as you're facing the enemies, they will not shoot you if you're in that uniform. So it makes it pretty easy to avoid a lot of damage in this area. Not very important on very easy difficulty, but it's very important on things like the extreme or European extreme difficulty. That way you just don't take a lot of damage through this section. So we'll just keep going around through here, and then we're going to shoot the guards as they pop up. There's some on the ground. There's also some up on the skywalk up here. So take those guys all out, and then we'll proceed on to the next area. Remember to quickly save the game when you enter the new area, because there's going to be even more difficult Keratan frogs that we have to shoot in every new area. I don't show it here, but another trick that you can do is that if you have the RPG-7 equipped, you can shoot the Shagohod during this section. If you shoot it right in its body, kind of like where its throat would be in this area, you're able to damage it, and that weakens it later on for the fight where we actually have to battle against the Shagohod. So you can kind of give yourself a little bit of a head start by doing some damage to it early on like that. Also, if you kill the maintenance workers who are working on the Shagohod in the earlier part before the Volgan fight, they will actually weaken the Shagohod as well. But because this is a no-kill playthrough, we're not going to do that. Well, now we're into the next section here, so again, make sure you saved it when you came in here, and you're going to skid around on the motorcycle for a little bit. there's going to be this forklift over in the side here. The Keratin frog is on the driver's seat of that forklift. So what you want to do is to take aim very carefully and to shoot that thing, and then we can move on. You can also use the SVD if you want a clearer shot of it. Now we just have to clean up the different guards that keep popping up around here as you go through the rest of this section. So not a lot to say, just shoot them when they pop up. Okay, starting off on the Groznygrad runway, this is where the Keratins get very difficult to hit. So make sure that you save it as you come into this area so you can reload it as necessary. You start off this section being chased by a bunch of guys on motorcycles. If you take out the driver, which is always the guy on the right side, you'll also get rid of the passenger, so you can save yourself a little time and effort there. After you turn the corner toward the left, you're going to be going down the runway. Grab your SVD and look down the left-hand side of this area. What you want to look for is the green Keratin frog on top of one of the signposts over here. You kind of go back and forth slowly in this area, and it does give you a bit of an opportunity to shoot it. It might take a bunch of shots to do that, but eventually you should be able to zero in on it as you get closer and just kind of wiggle back and forth until you can get a clear shot at it and then take it out. At that point, you just have to go back to shooting at the different motorcycle guys coming at you until you move into the next zone. We've got some more cutscenes, so skip that, and then you want to, of course, save the game because we have another very difficult Keratin frog to hit in this area. Also, take a moment to set up for the next area. So go into your backpack, into the weapons. We want our RPG-7 as well as the directional microphone. The directional microphone just helps with something coming up, just to verify that you actually hit the frog. So grab the SVD, and now instead of looking on the left side, we're going to look on the right side, so it's the opposite of the last area, and there's going to be another frog on the top of the signpost. Once again, Eva will kind of slow down and give us a good shot. If you want to verify you hit it, then grab that directional microphone, and you'll be able to hear a little bit more clearly if you just point it at the frog. So once you have confirmation that you did it correctly, you can go ahead and actually grab your RPG-7 because we want to fight off the Shagohod as it runs toward us. So shoot its treads, that's kind of its weak point. You can slow it down a little bit. It might start to launch some missiles up into the sky at you. If you see those things flying through the air, just grab your M1911. That will allow you to just shoot the things out of the sky, and it's pretty easy to get rid of those. And then just go back to shooting the treads, and just go back and forth with this stuff until you make it to the next area. After you make it to the Groznygrad rail bridge, there'll be a little cutscene, so skip through that. And then what you want to do is to stand up and then look down a little bit. Along one of the railings down here, there's the Keratin frog, so shoot him, and now just get into position looking at the blinking light over here. Just keep the targeting reticle right on that, and as soon as Eva tells you to shoot, then you can go ahead and shoot, and you'll move on with the game. After blowing up the C3 charge with the SVD, you get some more cutscenes, so skip through that, and you're going to be in a boss fight against the Shagohod. This is a 2-phase fight against the Shagohod. During phase 1, we're not going to worry about the Keratan Frog in this area. We're instead going to do that on the second phase. It's just much easier. All you have to do to complete this phase is to shoot the Shagohod in its treads. That will slow it down, and then when Eva circles around to the backside of it, you want to basically shoot the Shagohod in the exhaust vent on the back of its head. So take out the treads to stop it from moving, and then when you circle around, go ahead and shoot it at that hole where it's smoking in the back. You can use the tactical reload just to speed things up a little bit. You do that just by unequipping and re-equipping the weapon, and you have infinite ammo during this section, so don't worry about wasting shots. Just keep hitting it as fast as possible, and you should be able to clear this in just a moment. With phase 1 complete, we get another cutscene that we can skip, and then we're going to go straight into phase 2, where we're now on foot and Eva's acting as bait. So go ahead, save it in this area because we do have a Keratan that we want to get rid of, and we really don't want to mess that up by accidentally missing this one. So go ahead, save the game, and now we're going to fight the Shagohod on foot. The Keratan is located right in front of us, so we just have to look at the base of this communications tower, and then what you want to do is to equip the SVD, and you're able to look over toward the bottom of the metal part of the tower, right on the top of the stone part. It's right on the roof of that building. So once that's done, you want to grab your RPG and you want to continue to hit him in the treads, and then grab your Mazen Nagant and then aim for his head and try to get shots on Volgan, doing it that way. And you really just have to go back and forth between shooting the treads to disable it and then shooting Volgan in the head with a sniper rifle like the Mazen Nagant. You don't want to kill him, you just want to take him out non-lethally, and using the Mazen Nagant is a great way to do that quickly. Just be prepared that eventually he will start to target you, and that's not very good for us. So if you see him face you directly, he might start to attack you with this laser beam kind of thing or shoot rockets at you. We're not really struggling with health or anything in this fight, so you can tank a couple of hits. Otherwise, just run to the side and keep running to avoid those lasers and stuff. So here come some missiles. We're going to do it just like we did before, taking out the M1911 and shooting them out of the sky. And now let's just go back to shooting him in the treads and then shooting him in the head with the Mazen Nagant. Defeating the Shagohod gives us the Shagadelic trophy. You do not want to skip the cutscenes here because we have to get another one of those hidden first-person view cutscenes. So just let this one play out and I'll show you right where you need to start holding down that first-person view button. Volgan gets hit by a bolt of lightning, and then he lights on fire, and then eventually Snake will start talking, and it's about that time that you want to press down that first-person view button.
Fried by a bolt of lightning. A fitting end.
Snake will say it's finally over. That's when you hold down the first person view button and you'll get a scene where you see the Sorrow behind Eva. That implies that it was actually the Sorrow who made it rain here. After all, we hear from the boss in the beginning of the game that it starts raining and she asks if the Sorrow is also there. So the Sorrow made it rain, which caused the lightning, and that's actually what killed Volgin. Here we have another motorcycle section. You'll want to save the game at the beginning of this one because there's going to be a rather difficult Keratan frog at the end of this section, and you really don't want to mess this one up because you've got to do it all again. So make sure that you save it so that you're a little bit protected against having to do a lot of rework going back through the Shagohod section just to get the Keratan here. So go ahead, shoot these motorcyclists as they go around here, and there's also some waiting to ambush you as you come around this area. So there's 3 more as soon as we got rid of that last grouping, and what you can do is shoot them, or because you have the infinite ammo while you're on the motorcycle, you can use stun grenades as much as you like to knock them out easily. What works best is to actually aim a little bit in front of the motorcycle, like throw it out front, and then it should explode pretty well. You can also throw it into those groups of motorcyclists where they're waiting to ambush you if you're looking forward as you go. So a little trick there to get through it all. Once you get past those couple of ambushes, then you're going to go down this long road, and then you're going to run into a roadblock with some guys in front of you. That's not the section that you need to shoot the Keratan in. It's a little bit after that. So I'll show you the ambush section coming up, and then I will come back in when it's time to shoot that Keratan. Just shoot the guys around here inside this little roadblock area as you motor around this section. Once you get past the roadblock, you'll go down a road a little bit further, and there's going to be 2 barricades on the left side. You want to shoot the Keratan right in between them. You only get that 1 or 2 seconds to hit them, so be prepared for that, and then you'll move on into the next area. Remember that if you didn't hit that, you got to go back to the beginning of that area and do it all again. In the next area, grab your RPG-7 and then look ahead and a little bit toward the right side. There's going to be a rock coming up, and you want to shoot the rocket and hit the Keratan. Just aim for that rock and you'll do some damage there. If you want to confirm that you hit it, grab that directional microphone to hear it a little bit easier. Then you just have these flying guys around here. Shoot them. I know it seems weird that they'll be flying into trees and most likely dying, but that doesn't count as a kill for us because it was actually the crash that killed them instead of the tranquilizer dart that we hit them with. So strange logic, I know, but either way, we don't get any kills for doing it this way. This is a rather long section, so you just have to go through it as best as you can. You're not really in any danger of dying from these gunshots, especially on that very easy difficulty. If you really don't want them to shoot you, then put on that Cold War camouflage, because they won't shoot you as long as you're looking at them, but they will still shoot you from behind. And we're just going to go through this until Eva tells us that there's a log coming up. At that point, we need to grab our RPG-7 and look toward the front because we have to shoot the log as it's coming up toward us, otherwise we'll take some damage. So she says log, we're going to grab that RPG-7, look ahead, and there's going to be a log in our path. If you miss it, just do a tactical reload by unequipping and re-equipping and then shoot it on the way, and you should be fine to go into the next section. Once again, save the game as you go into this area because we have another tricky frog to shoot on the way up. It's basically the same as the last one that we did. Grab your RPG-7 and look ahead and a little bit toward the left this time. There's going to be a frog on top of a rock, so use that RPG to hit the rock as you go past it, and if you can hear that beautiful croaking, you'll know that you did it properly. And now it's just a matter of taking out these guards once again. They'll be on the motorcycles, so shoot them. Again, aim for the guy on the right side to take out the driver, and then the passenger will also fall off at the same time too. They'll be going on your right side and your left side. Just take them out as you go. We've already got the frog in this area, so it's just a matter of taking out the guards as you go through the end of this. And this is the last motorcycle section that you have to do for the game. So all the hard Keratans are done at this point. There's just a few more that we need to get in the next sections. So enjoy the rest of the ride, and I'll see you in the new area.
Snake.
The motorcycle crashed and we got hurt pretty bad, so let's go into the cure menu. We'll fix up Eva. We're going to take care of her different ailments here. Just go ahead and suture her up, make sure that she's all healed up and everything, and then we can move on. Once you're in control of Snake, you'll probably get a call from Major Zero. You can ignore him. Instead, we want to go into the cure menu and fix up the things that are wrong with Snake. So fix any broken bones or deep cuts, anything like that. And then what we want to do is to save the game so that we're able to progress on from here without having to do any of that motorcycle stuff again. We have to escort Eva through this area. She'll do everything we do, including laying down, running forward. We do, however, have to tell her to go forward by hitting the action button. We'll wave her ahead, so make sure you do that to get her to keep coming along the path with us. You can grab the snakes in this area. They make for really good food because she goes through stamina very quickly, and we'll probably have to feed her on the way. Just keep moving up slowly, and then you're going to get to a part with a little cutscene, and then we'll move into a new area where we're in the caution status, and that's when things get a little bit tricky for us. So just make sure that she keeps coming along and grab any tasty food along the way because we'll have to feed her to keep her happy. So now that she's with us, we'll continue down this path and we're going to trigger that cutscene and go into the caution status with a bunch of guards who are hunting us. Okay, let's move forward across the muddy puddle here, and we're going to go down the path that's to the right side of where we came in. We're going to run through here, and there's going to be a bunch of guards. There's about 4 of them that come running toward us at this point, so make sure that you get in their way and then take them out before they see you. Remember, we're not going to be spotted this entire game. We do not want any alerts, so take them out early, otherwise they'll catch up to us, they'll see Eva, and then that's going to be an alert, and we don't want that. Keep going up the path and using the hand gesture, the action button to summon or to signal to Eva to run up the hill here. Once she gets a little bit up, be careful because there's going to be some more guards coming behind her and we need to get ready for that. So just get into position here. They're going to be running around and then we can just shoot them as they come around this corner. Now there was one guard who scampered off to the side that I wasn't able to shoot, and that is important because he's going to be coming up a little bit later on. So just pay attention. You want to shoot all 4 guys in that area. If you miss one of them, then you'll have to deal with him a little bit later on. So we'll keep running through here, through the muddy puddle. When you get to this log that's a bridge, look down and to your left. There's going to be a Kertan frog at the bottom of this area, so shoot him before proceeding on. And then you can call Eva over toward you. There's going to be some more guards coming at you, so take them out at this time, and then you want to go forward, keep going the direction that you were going, because there's going to be some more guards on the way there too. Okay, so Eva's starting to get hungry. We can stand next to her, go into the food menu, and then feed her directly. That gives her more stamina, and that makes her happy. If she gets too low on stamina, she won't follow us anymore. So keep her fed, but don't give her that Tsuchinoko. That would be a very bad thing. Let's keep going down that path. There's going to be another snake on the ground over here, so we can shoot him. He's a good source of food in case we need to feed Eva anymore. Just be on the lookout for more guards coming both from the front and the back. They could come from anywhere. So we'll come down here into this next area, and as I was here, I totally missed this guard, and he's going to give me quite a jump scare at this point. He pops up right next to me, doesn't see me somehow, and I'm able to shoot him. That was the one guard that ran away and got away from me at the beginning part here. And also, I get sandwiched from some other guards coming up from behind Eva. So I got very lucky there, somehow did not get seen. Just pay attention for that one guard. If he runs away, you do need to get him in this area first. And then it's just a matter of running over toward this ledge and getting Eva close enough so that we can go to the next area. This area is considerably easier than the last area. There's 4 guards that we need to take care of in this first spot, so grab your easy gun, and we're going to shoot the guard on the left side down the path. And then there's going to be one on the right side that's getting kind of close to us. And finally 2 in the back. Once they're gone, we can just proceed forward. Make sure you keep calling Eva over toward us, and we're going to go down to the bottom of this hill. As you move down here, you'll see that brightly colored tree right in the middle of the path. You want to go toward the left side of it, and if you look behind it, there's going to be a Keratan frog. So shoot that frog, and then we can proceed on down the path to the right side of that tree. We'll keep coming down. There's going to be a snake down here in these bushes and the ferns, so shoot that in case you need a little bit more food, and then we can keep going a little bit further on. There's going to be some more guards waiting for us in this area, so before you run too far forward, look ahead. There's going to be one guard who's kind of straight ahead at the middle part of the bottom here, so shoot him, and then there's another one over on the left side too, so sneak around toward the left and then have a good look at the guard over here. Once you shoot him, then that's basically all the guards in this area that you need to worry about, as long as you stick over toward the left side path here. So I was a little bit paranoid looking around, making sure I wasn't going to get spotted by anyone, making sure there was no guards hiding in the bushes or anything like that. But the coast is clear. We can now head down into the next area. So keep summoning Eva over toward us. We want to go toward this ledge, and we'll be able to go into the next area. And that's basically it for the game, apart from the final boss that we need to do. So we'll move over here, and we're going to get into a final boss fight against the boss herself. We've got a couple cutscenes. Let's skip through all of this, and then she's going to rush toward us. She'll grab us. As soon as you hear Snake grunt, then you can counterattack by hitting the punch button. I didn't do it right, but that's okay. It's fine. I can just move on from here. We'll grab the easy gun, and we're just going to run away from her, kind of run over toward the left side here. She's also going to run away and hide. And what we want to do now is to look up at the top of the tree here. There's going to be a Keratan frog at the top, so shoot him, and then we're going to get the It Ain't Easy Being Green trophy for hitting all of the Keratan frogs. Congratulations, that's a lot of work doing that. Now what we want to do is to go into our backpack, grab those thermal goggles, and we're going to equip them because we're going to use them to find a couple snakes in this area. So I'll just get rid of the reticulated python that I had in the cage, and we're going to just keep that easy gun up so that we can hide from the boss as we go through here. Run around and look for logs on the ground. On the other side, there's going to be a snake in the grass. It's hard to see. It's just going to be a little line of light, and you want to aim for that and take it out. You can go ahead and grab this one. This is going to be Snake J. If you open up your survival viewer and see the food, that is Snake Solid. So we've got one of the 3 new snakes in this area, and we have to collect them all before we beat the boss all the way. If you're running around here looking for the different snakes and you happen to get a good shot at the boss, feel free just to hit her a little bit with a tranquilizer. It doesn't hurt to make this fight go a little bit faster. It's technically a timed fight, but we get a lot of time to do that. So we're going to run around the side here, and we can see that the boss is ahead of us. We'll just shoot her 3 times and then keep running around here looking for some more logs on the ground. If you get too close to her, she will shoot you, so just keep your distance and keep going around. There's going to be another log coming up into this area, and there's a snake on the ground. Go ahead, shoot him, and then we'll grab this one. This is going to be Snake Eye. If you look at this one, you'll see that it's Snake Liquid. Well, let's go ahead and just eat this one, see how it tastes. These snakes provide excellent stamina recovery, and now we're going to continue on. There is a snake hanging down from the tree here. However, it's just a green tree python. It's not one that we need to collect. We've already gotten this species before, way at the beginning of the game. So if you happen to get this one, then you can just eat it or dispose of it. Doesn't really matter. And we're going to continue looking for that last snake on the ground. It's going to be, once again, right by one of the logs on the ground. Just keep going around until you can see it. I just like to continue going around in a clockwise manner, and eventually you'll find them all on the ground here. I had another good shot at the boss, so I took it, and then right around this area is where I can find the final snake on the ground. It's right by one of the logs again, so grab that one, and this is going to be Snake K, and we also get the Charmer trophy by collecting all of the snakes in the game. Also, if you go into the survival viewer menu, you can look at the food and see that this one is Snake Solidus. So we had Snake Solid, Snake Liquid, and Snake Solidus, all names that should be pretty familiar to you if you're a fan of the Metal Gear Solid series. While the boss is running around over here, she still doesn't know where we are, so we're able to just hit her with that tranquilizer gun from a distance, and of course hide in case she does in fact see you. She'll try to shoot you with the Patriot and do some damage to you, but if you hide behind the tree, she can't do a whole lot. And from here on out, we really just have to keep hunting her from a distance. She won't be able to see us, she won't be able to do any damage to us as long as she has no idea where we are, and we're just able to look at her when she pops out from behind a tree, shoot her a couple times, and then just hide behind a tree in case she does spot you at that point. And we're just going to keep repeating this pattern until she's very low on stamina. At this point, she only had a sliver of stamina left, so I figured I'd just rush in there and try to take care of her very quickly, but she saw me, turned around, and booked it to the other end of the area. Now she's hiding behind a tree, and you'll see something kind of interesting happen here. Number one, I have horrible aim, apparently, because I missed twice in a row. It's kind of embarrassing what happened, so she happened to duck that one by chance, missed it again, and now that she sees me, she's shooting at me, and she's actually going to shoot every one of my tranquilizer darts that I shoot toward her, so she can hit them out of the sky, but you can run around and take her out. Make sure you grab that snake uniform and then wait for the cutscene to play out. Because I'm wearing the spirit camo, she could not hear me run up on her either. That allowed me to get right up next to her and punch her out before she even knew what was happening. We get a trophy called the Patriot for beating the boss, and then we have to watch this cutscene play out until we're prompted to press the weapon button and end her life.
Take this. Keep it safe. It's our only hope.
A Patriot? Why are you giving me this?
Jack. Or should I say, Snake. You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now. Do it. There's only room for one boss and one snake.
After the boss's death, do not skip the cutscene. We have another one of those first-person view moments that we need to get. So what you're going to wait for is the boss's horse will walk over to her and then raise its head and neigh. At that point, you want to be holding down that first-person view button to see the special scene. So just play out this whole scene until you see that horse. Okay, here comes the horse. It'll walk over toward the boss's body. It bends down to smell her. And when it raises its head up and neighs, hold down the first person view button and you'll see the Sorrow and the boss together as spirits. After you see that, then you can really just skip the cutscenes until you get to the part with Ocelot inside the wig. When given the choice of the two guns, let's grab the one on our right side. Then you get a little cutscene that plays out. We'll just watch this for a moment, and when we get the opportunity to shoot him, we're just not going to do anything. We can just look at him and just let time pass. And now we just wait around. You can pull the trigger if you want to, doesn't really matter. You can just sit here too, and it will play out, and eventually the scene will end. By choosing the gun on the right, we actually get to keep this gun for another playthrough. So kind of a cool little thing that you can get as a reward for this section. Otherwise, if you choose the one on the left, you don't get to keep it. A little scene plays out where Ocelot will reveal that the bullet in the gun was a blank. We can just skip this cutscene, and we can keep skipping cutscenes until we get to the save point where we're prompted to save it. So skip all these scenes and then save the game.
Well done, Snake.
After we save it, we will skip two cutscenes, one with the radio at the beginning, and then one with Snake sleeping. After that, do not skip any more cutscenes. When you see Snake's legs as he's walking toward the Oval Office at the White House to meet with the President, we're going to not skip any cutscenes here, and we're just going to speed it up because this is quite lengthy. Eventually, he's going to give us the title of Big Boss, and then he's going to say, "You are a true patriot." At that point, you want to not only hold down the first-person view button, but also turn the left analog stick to look toward the left. When you do that, then you're going to see Ocelot behind here, and you're going to get the cats out of the bag trophy. But we're not done with the first-person views in this cutscene, so don't skip anything from here on out either. We are going to speed it up a little bit just so that we can get to the part that really matters. What you want to do is wait until Snake is walking through the graveyard after the montage and the explanation of what was going on with the boss. Eventually, you'll see the front of the gravestone, and then you want to pay attention to this part. Eva will say she was a true patriot. At that point, hold down that first-person view button and then just wait, because what's going to happen is Snake will salute, and then you will get a view through his eyes where it's watery, and you'll get the Snake Eyes trophy for seeing all of those hidden first-person view cutscenes. Now we just have a whole bunch of cutscenes and stuff to go through. You can't really skip any of this, so I'm just going to put it on super speed. This is like 100 times speed just to get through to the end of it. After the credits, we're going to get the Like a Boss trophy by beating the game on any difficulty. We also get the Peace Walker trophy by beating the game without killing anyone. We get the King of the Jungle trophy by collecting all 48 kinds of plants and animals. We get the Coast is Clear trophy by beating the game without alerting anyone. No alert phases there. And we get the ranking of Keratin for getting all of the Keratin frogs. We get a new item. It's going to be the Single Action Army. That's for choosing the revolver on the right side. And we get the Patriot. That's a gift from the boss. We get the Under the Radar trophy when we get the Stealth Camouflage. And we get the Fit for a King trophy for getting the Infinity Face Paint. That's for capturing that Tsukinoko alive. We get the Only Skin Deep trophy at that same time for getting all the face paints, as well as the Fashionista trophy for unlocking the tuxedo. So we did some great work there, and now we get to save the game. Once you save it, we're just going to put it onto a new save file here, and you'll see that it says 001. That's the number of times that you completed the game on that difficulty. Well, at this point, we've completed 90% of all the trophies. The only thing we have left to do is to get the cover-to-cover Solid 3 Book Eater trophy by reading all of the pages in the screenplay book, as well as the Foxhound trophy. So to get the one for the screenplay book, go back to the main menu and choose it from there. All you have to do is to go through this whole book by tapping that first person view button, that's R1 on the PlayStation, and go all the way to the end. It'll take about a minute and a half to go through all the pages if you really slam it, and you're able to get to the end rather quickly and get your trophy for that. So that's all of the miscellaneous trophies. All that's really left is to get that Foxhound trophy, and I'll be showing you how to do that in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a like, share it with a friend, and also feel free to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. We would really love to have you as part of our community. So until next time, friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Have a good day.